be all or nothing, all or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. Oh, or nothing at all. Hold these doubts like the playing cards close to my chest. Turn them round for the river and hope it's something that I won't regret. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. Oh, oh, it's gotta be all or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. Oh, or nothing at all. Should've known better than to trust in love. It's like this whole world keeps on messing it up. I wanna be your alien queen. We can ride to the moon in your space machine. You get me in the mood. It feels so fucking good. Just what my body needs. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life. I wanna be your alien queen. We can ride to the moon in your space machine. You get me in the mood. It feels so fucking good. Just what my body needs. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life. You should know that I don't mind if you
All right, everybody, hello, welcome back to another week of Nace. Got a little last minute redirection, a little last minute reschedule. I'm still kind of going through, making sure everything looks right on my end, and I can immediately tell you it's not, because we're not bringing you RIT versus Georgia Tech. So there's our last minute flex. Let me just get those changed up for us real quick, and then we can get things rolling. But as you might have seen or might be expecting, we've got the Georgia Tech RIT series was the planned coverage for tonight. That was scheduled for 7 p.m. and was on as of 6:55. That one last minute looks like RIT. We're going to have to forfeit that one, so Georgia Tech going to pick up a free series win. That one was going to be exciting as Drano, the position 1 player, I think he's the highest MMR on the team, but that might be back to Jim Abraham. Wasn't going to be around, so I was going to be excited to bring that one, but last minute we're over here now. UMN Conestoga, both of them early on this season have been struggling a little bit, both 0-2. They've each had their bye week already as well, so you know, kind of one match behind, even though we are just coming into week 4 of the season. Both of them have lost to Toronto, and it was, I believe, UMN lost to Brown, and Conestoga lost to Georgia Tech as well. So that's where we're at now. Both of these teams losing to some pretty good teams. Brown, I would say, is probably the weakest loss among them all, so hard to pick a favorite when I haven't been watching too much of these teams play so far this season, and also I think both teams are yet to win a game. Let me just confirm that before I say that too loud. But yeah, both teams did get 2-0'd in both of their series. And so along with the bye week, puts them 0-2 and 0-4 in terms of the games played as well. So not the easiest to get there. While the draft is going on, I'm still digging out some logos. It is UMN, University of Minnesota, over on the Radiant, and it is Conestoga on the Dire. So bear with me for just another moment while I do finish digging those out. I promise they will be up at some point.
Radiant team back.
Oh wow, Conestoga going for a first pick, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun this game. Oh, what did I say? Dire is Conestoga, huh? I must have their logo. Haven't I cast one of their games? Haven't I cast one of the Conestoga games? Favior and Notorious SV? I mean, it seems familiar to me. But maybe I haven't.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team
I really do feel like I should have them though, no? Aren't they the Condors? Conestoga Condors? That sounds familiar.
Radiant team pick.
Crystal Maiden.
If I remember, this is the team that isn't Conestoga the team that played previous seasons, and they just kind of only do the spring seasons? If you're noticing I'm even more unprepared than normal, I mean, you'd be right. No, Conestoga is completely new. Okay.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you may notice that I'm even less prepared than normal, and unfortunately, there's good reason for that, because we did get flexed out last minute. But the show must go on, and I mean, we still have some exciting Dota. We're still going to get the early series later on. We'll be moving over to another East Coast series rescheduled for 8:45. That one being USF versus University of Toronto. So do make sure you stick around for that one as well. Sorry, I did have to go and find the Conestoga logo,
10
but I
seconds
have
remaining.
found it. It exists. There it is. Beautiful.
5 seconds remaining.
Minnesota's been somewhat of a regular on the show, so definitely have theirs sitting around. Pull that one up for us. Look at that, we haven't missed too much. If that's the worst that things get, then we'll be pretty happy in this series. So, hello, hi, welcome. I can pay attention to you guys going on now. It's nice to be back. I took my couple of days off. Had a really busy weekend casting. If you guys didn't check that out, I was doing Legal Ads Plus. That's a $500 tournament that was group stage last weekend, and going to be carrying on throughout this month. So not sure if I'll be back doing any of those playoff matches, but potentially will be. Those are pretty flex. They're getting scheduled by the teams themselves, so they're relatively last minute. And then we did handle a couple of NACE matches besides on the weekend. Notably, University of British Columbia had a nice best-of-3 series, did go to all 3 games, UBC narrowly squeaking that one out. It was like 4 hours long. What was it? It was like 10:30, and I didn't end up going to bed till like 3 in the morning on Sunday. No, on Saturday, and then I had to get up to cast on Sunday. That was the issue.
5 seconds remaining.
So that one was a lot of fun. Did drag on quite a bit. There were some long games in there that maybe didn't have to be so long. Had a nice post-game interview afterwards with one of the UBC guys, and get some insight into, you know, how the season's treating them and some of their thoughts so far going into the season. But anyway, enough about that. We are here now. Today is Wednesday. We'll be handling a couple of more matches throughout the week as well. And I was looking through the schedule today. It does seem like there were a handful of reschedules that came down, but most of them did actually end up staying on today, just pushed back to a later time, which is interesting. So in the East Coast Division, we're going to see all of the matches fire today, except for the Georgia Tech RIT series, which I did previously say Georgia Tech going to be collecting a forfeit win out of that one. Not too sure what that's going to mean for RIT going forward this season, as that might be constituting their second forfeit. I'll have to do a check-in with the league and see if they're going to be kind of allowed to continue to play, or what's going to be the deal there. But I'll make sure to bring you that up-to-date news as soon as I have it. And then in the West Coast, it does look like most of the matches are today. Notably, we do have a match scheduled for March 3rd and one for March 4th as well. So that's next Sunday and Monday. So it might be a little bit of a light series. Do make sure you let me know, send me a message, send me a DM, put it in the chat if there's any games that you want to see off the replay, because today we're going to be doing University of Minnesota versus Conestoga. That's what you're watching right now, so you better know we're doing this one. Later on, we're going to hop into the USF University of Toronto match. Most likely going to be joining that one in progress, unless this series does go particularly quickly. Which means that Brown, Indiana, going to be falling off the wayside in terms of the East Coast Division, and then all 4 of the West Coast Division games not going to be cast tonight, so notably 2 of them will be happening simultaneously. That's University of Illinois versus Seneca, and University of Toronto Benchwarmers versus UCSD. So some potential good series there too. Let me know if we want any of those, and I can look to slot 1 or 2 matches in over the course of this week before we do get to those reschedules, Sunday and Monday. That should round out our weekly schedule. Don't have a graphic to pull up because everything has been so in flux, but you know, what can you do sometimes? So we have hit the end of this draft. I mean, I know I haven't been talking about it, but luckily you can see it up on the screen. I'm in a love-hate relationship with this draft overlay, by the way. I mean, 1, it's really simple. 2, like, who wants to stare at my face all the time? Let's bring on some other co-cast and get them over there, or maybe they can go on this side. Put someone pretty up on the screen. Give me 5 times the viewership. No, but all joking aside, I really was just able to pull this kind of overlay together. But I'm not a computer science guy. I can't actually dig into how they put together the code to make the visual elements, so I can't change any of it. So I really wish I could put a NACE graphic like in where this blue center thing is and whatever, but I simply cannot. So sad. It's one of the big shortcomings, I think. Something I want to work on going forward if I do, you know, continue through more seasons, through more leagues, that I'd love to get some improved graphics again.
Dire team pick.
UMN coming last pick Abaddon. Did see them pick up the OD before, and that one was in response to the Conestoga Viper. Now Conestoga most likely going to be picking up the Viper here, just with the idea that we don't want to lose our lane.
10
Now,
seconds remaining.
when it came out and when... Actually, I suppose the
5
OD was
seconds
picked
remaining.
after the puck, which is interesting. Because OD screams to me like they thought the Viper might be mid. Most likely now we're going to be seeing a Viper 3 with the last pick carry incoming. And in terms of what they could want, I mean, there's a lot of carries that you could really pick up here. Could always go for something like the Luna. They've got Pudge behind for the Dismember. I mean, it's not amazing, but the Luna CM lane isn't so bad. You do alright against Abaddon. You can find farm and go jungle before they really spike. But really any carry that can go jungle I think should be fine here. You just need something that's happy to pick up an early BKB to be able to fight into the OD, fight into the Wind Ranger. And not just, you know, spend a while farming up a Radiance and feeding. But I think there's a lot viable. They do go for the Luna on Conestoga, so hard for me to disagree with this hero. I think it is just strong around the board. And in terms of draft advantage, I think I still slightly favor UMN's draft. But I do think this OD can be a liability, especially against the puck in lane. Like, it's not amazing against puck because you can dodge out a lot of the damage. I mean, Astral is Astral, so you're gonna get some pressure off from the OD. Like, it's not like you just lose your lane or anything. But OD has always felt like a win lane lose game hero to me. And nowadays I know that it does go the right click, like you'll go the Witchblade and, you know, go that kind of thing. And I know that it had this little resurgence with the Charisma, but now with the Charisma being a little bit nerfed, I don't know how that's really impacted it. But ultimately, you know, it seemed like OD right click might be strong when you factor in like how BKB was changed, you factor in that, you know, heroes are maybe less inclined to buy it, or because it's weaker, you might be able to have a little bit more advantage on OD. You can do some cute plays as well, like Astral during the BKB, so that when it runs out, you still get duration. So like cool stuff there, but ultimately your damage really falls off around that, you know, 20-25 minute mark when enemy heroes start getting the yellow item, and it's hard to come back from that. I mean, it really is. Heroes can get this BKB earlier and earlier, and Luna is one of those heroes that will go for the early BKB. Especially against OD, is going to be very happy to do it as well. So, you know, we'll have to see how Red does take this hero. Now, it does have the opportunity, the OD hero, to take over games with that pretty superior right click. If you are able to come out ahead in lane and you are able to apply map pressure just continuously. So we will see how it does turn out. I don't think it's, strictly speaking, a bad hero. I think it's just not necessarily the most cohesive in a lot of drafts, is the way that I feel. And you're really, really, really banking on this Abaddon on the University of Minnesota side to be your entire front line. You have squishy backline supports, you have a, you know, squishy Wind Ranger, and then you have this OD, and none of these heroes like to get jumped at all. Meanwhile, you're playing against Puck and Pudge and Luna and heroes that are in your face and, you know, could have some issues later on in the game. Still, despite me going on my little OD rant, do think I still slightly favor their draft, as I think the Viper offlane feels a little bit out of place for Conestoga. I think UMN do have some powerful heroes as well, and the supports feel like they'll be able to find pickoffs, so... Notorious V, gonna find the hook in the mid lane, but not onto the bounty rune like he was looking for, so... Just a little bit of trade damage. The game's gonna get underway as UMN gonna take on Conestoga here, week number 4, kicking it off. Gonna be our first matchup. As the body blocks come through the mid lane. This doesn't quite bring us to halfway through the NACE season this week, but it is coming close, so... Still not quite time for scoreboard watching, but... It is starting to be that time where you take a look at the teams, take a look up their skirt, and check out what they got, because... We are starting to see how this league is shaping up, starting to see what teams are strong, what teams are maybe not, and... More importantly, what teams match up well against each other, as some of the strong teams definitely have playstyles that don't vibe against some of the opponents that they'll be facing.
Dire's courier has been killed.
So just one of those things to always watch out for is whether you are an aggressive team going up against a defensive one, or, you know, vice versa, how you're going to be able to capitalize on that sort of thing. Go ahead and take a look at some of the other lanes, because mid is going to be pretty boring this game. Luna farming up nicely, actually. Fords and Eyes on the first wave is nuts, by the way. It is against Abaddon, who's melee, but absolutely insane for Micro here. Gonna be very happy starting this one off. Huh, cute little Aphotic Shield play from Day there. I can appreciate that one. Taking a look down bottom, we do see our Pudge position 4. It does amaze me. It does actually amaze me, and I don't mean to sound too salty about this, but I do every time it comes up. But people picking Pudge 4 in officials, you know, whether it is like a true official like this one, whether it's an in-house, whether it's whatever, just like astounds me. Like, how does your team let this happen? Everyone hates to play with this hero. Like, is what you get actually worth what you put in? I mean, I understand the Pudge core stuff. The Pudge core is like, okay, your hero's actually, like, good at what it does, but... Pudge 4 is so, like, if you don't hit the hooks, you just have a really hard time in the early game. Luckily for Notorious V, he's going to be matched up against a Disruptor here early in the lane, so... Not going to be so easy to just click him down. He's found a couple of hooks early on onto Fredberg as well, burning out some of that mana, burning out some of the wind run. So he is having impact. I mean, I don't mean to be so salty, but it looks like LMT gonna go down first as Micro trying to trade it off, and looks like he will be able to do it with the Lucent Beam. 1-1, but the first blood coming out for UMN. Gonna be pretty happy with that one, especially with how dominant this lane's been for Conestoga. I mean, 12 and 7 on the Luna is pretty significant. Even able to grab the Lotus on Micro as well, so gonna continue to be happy in this lane. Taking a look back into the mid lane, might as well give it a little check-in. Do see things shaping up about how we expected during the draft of OD able to find his farm, but Puck just no cares in the world, gonna start to get pressure on, especially now that the levels are coming out, a couple points in the orb. And this is one of the matchups that OD isn't able to just orb you and kill off your wave and do damage to you. Puck just has superior mobility and magical burst damage to boot as well, so not the easiest time in the world. We'll have to see what the build-up's going to be for red, but the glyph coming out from Conestoga, thinking about diving this mid tower, but not going to come through in time. So you're 4 minutes into the game, 1-1. Gonna be your kill score, Conestoga. slightly behind off the back of that first blood going UMN's way, and another hook in the bot lane. Every time I look down here, Notorious V finds a hook. This time, though, it's going to be on the Disruptor. The glimpse was over onto Viper, so it does go down. Notorious V trying his absolute hardest to make me look the fool complaining about this pudge. That's, I think 4 for 4 on hooks that he's had in camera. If you want to include that first one on the bounty rune, and as I say it, make that 5 for 4, but you miss 100% of the hooks you don't throw. Beam in the top lane, and Photic Shield quickly purges off the Frostbite. A little bit lucky there for Day, maybe, as came out about the same instant as the spell did get cast. But now Day potentially in some trouble. A shield to boot. LMT starting to fall low, not going to be able to tank up the creep wave, so Conestoga going to have to back off. Still very nice position for this Conestoga top lane. Bushwhack. They'll give one back. 2-2. Gonna be your score. Pandemonium. Coming in with the early rotation, steals up the bounty rune as Puck was headed that way to look for some bottle regen of her own. But the Hoodwink here very early for this top power rune, hoping for it, but underneath the ward. Puck thinking about whether he has the damage or not, and CV decides to go for the kill. Doesn't want to give up the odds, I guess. Gonna get caught by the Bushwhack rune, gonna spawn on the bot half. Puck. Just gonna get grabbed and taken down. I'm surprised Insanity's Eclipse had enough damage, actually. But looks like it was just enough, and Red... Well, I'd say he's gonna be rewarded with the rune, but... Invis rune not really gonna matter so much to the no bottle OD. Did just miss the kill, or maybe just hit the kill down bottom, as Notorious V looks like another hook setup into that kill, so... Once more, proving me wrong. And look at the denies here for Conestoga as the hook misses. 11 denies for Viper, 16 denies for Luna. Now in the mid lane, there is that little reversal, 10 denies for OD, but it's the main thing you pick OD for. It's not the main thing that you pick Viper for, or Luna. Viper for lane dominance a little bit, but if you really want to go that route, you're not picking up the Pudge. On the top side, Day falling low, and Tower not going to save him, as Micro more than willing to tank the shots to take the kill. So 7 minutes came and went. Wisdom runes did go 1 apiece, so each of these teams staying relevant. Look at this, we got the rotation coming through. Notorious V, level 5 on the Pudge here. It's only 7.5 minutes. Looking for the hook setup. That's about the hardest way to play that gank, by the way, on the Pudge. He came in without his smoke, and he just kind of walked up and sat in the river to try and hook at max range. Now, if the reactions are there in time, it's up top, hold that bot, the hook, gonna save his body. Micro underneath the tower, and LMT able to claim 1 kill. Day staying around, trying to take down the CM, but now just gonna be slowed by the route. Micro even turning around, looking for the right click, gonna have him. Might just be in trouble here as the Glimpse gonna be able to drag back, not even needed, as Fredberg through the Fiend's Gate finds one, gonna find the Shackle, and longest range Shackle onto the tree was just level 1. Still enough to find the kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Puck came through, but realized the error of his ways. So big brawl in the top lane. Ends up going pretty well for the University of Minnesota yet again.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Much
attack.
needed kills up in this top lane as well, as the lanes were definitely not going in their favor up to this point. And one of the ways to, you know, do well in the side lanes, especially against a hero like the Viper,
Is under attack.
is to break them as early as possible. We see Wind come through the Fiend's Gate, or come through the Twin Gate, excuse me, and cause some havoc up here, get a little bit of pressure onto the tower, and you can see that it has kicked Luna into the jungle. Natural thing that this hero wants to do, and has some stacks available for himself. Needs to make sure these do go down before they lose too much control on the map.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Whoa. In the mid, Day just runs down a solo kill onto the Puck of all heroes. What a weird one to find. Notorious V looking for the Dismember play. Hook gonna find him underneath the tower. Dismember gonna come through, rod over the top. They're gonna be enough damage. It looks like with the shield, still gonna be ticked down underneath the tower, and tower shot helps out as well.
Blessings upon a loyal warrior.
7-7. Something I did want to comment on clicking on Luna as I was watching her farm up the jungle is the level 6 point in Eclipse. You do get a couple of beams, but yeah, it's really not good when you have level 1 beam. It's kind of hysterically bad. LMT up top, gonna get bushwhacked. Notorious V maybe looking for the angle on the Hook. Gonna find the CM over the hill. Able to bail him out once again.
Dire's bottom tower is
Puck did find an arcane rune walking up the high ground here. Red looking for the angle, and it's just gonna be the quick jaunt up to the high ground. Notorious V does have the Dismember ready, and they're going to find it onto OD. That's a big one. The Static Storm not able to cancel it out in time, so Red does go down first. Now the chase, it's going to be on for Conestoga, but look at the damage coming through on the backside. Puck falling so low is going to get popped by the Aphotic Shield explosion, and Day chasing forward, see if he can't find any more. Orbit Corrosion to slow down the CM, but it's Micro. Potentially caught out on the side. Pandemonium looking for him with that Sharpshooter. Is the angle going to be there? Instead, onto Pudge. Micro still. Glimpse. Looks like it's not going to be available as Luna able to run over to the side, while Day did eventually net the CM kill as well. Continuing to cut this wave as UMN look to expand their lead or look to start to take a lead is down bottom. A quick little trade out as well in the residual 1v1. Viper Wind just continuing to play against each other down here.
top tower has fallen.
Two eventually trading each other out, but it's the top lane tower that goes down, so UMN continuing to grab up this jungle. It's a good thing that Luna did take these stacked up camps previously, and you can just see the ward presence actually that UMN have fought to get up here. 3 ops over this triangle,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
and they're gonna just have to give it up as they are gonna try and swap over and take over the bot side of the map. So gonna need to spend some time reestablishing their vision down here, as they will give up their own jungle. TPs are coming through for UMN, excuse me, as Conestoga make the attempt on this tower. But Day, he's got the borrowed time. He's ready to go. No items to work with. But Static Storm over the top, gonna be dropped down. Still gonna end up taking down the Disruptor. And Dismember gonna be nice find on top of the borrowed time, just holding back the Abaddon. Day, the only one gonna be left alive, as his team does crumble around him. The shield not even going to take down the CM. Trying to pop the coil, trying to find the damage. Didn't quite have it. A valiant effort from him, though. As 3 heroes do go down, Conestoga ready with numbers while they were taking the tower, and the tower did go down in the meantime as well.
Is under attack.
So looking to play behind the Abaddon, but even with the borrowed time, looks like he really does need that Echo Saber before he's gonna be in fighting shape here. Notorious V, by the way, is about to have a Blink Dagger on the Pudge. He's about, what, 80 gold away, 70 gold away. Up top, this could be a big kill of Fredberg if he finds it. It's a relatively easy one to go for, but instead the Hook gonna come through this member. Didn't commit the focus fire on the Wind, and eventually, you know, just gets asked the question of what are you doing up so far without your team? That'll finish off the blink for the Pudge. Looking around at some of the items, the Witchblade available on Puck as well, as Conestoga going to group up towards the mid lane and think about taking this tower as well. Red still struggling towards his Witchblade, has started to fall off the pace a little bit. Actually dead even in net worth with the Puck, but the extra null talismans just setting him a little bit behind. Ooh, though, it's gonna find the Abaddon. It's gonna get the early borrow time. 2-man bushwhack into the Static Storm. Gonna be dropping down the Viper straight away, and Day perfectly healthy inside of that shield. Notorious V gonna go down as well, as the timing on the Pudge Blink Dagger gonna get obliterated, as Puck not able to jump to the low ground. Would have found his death in the OD instead. Just looking for the little bit of extra damage onto the squirrel, but without being able to take down that kill, we're going to see fights go back and forth and back and forth and back. As this time it's going to be 3 kills, making a 4th. Coming through for UMN, as they're going to be able to take this mid lane tower on the back of it. TP did come in from Viper. There's no borrowed time to work with here either, so looking for the kill, but the Astral to save, and now Favior needing to run away from this one. Looks like he might just about make it. No, the Glimpse is going to find him, bring him back underneath the tower, and the TPs continue. You better cancel this one on Conestoga. Instead, Puck comes in. The Banishment going to stack on top of the Bushwhack, but Puck in a lot of trouble here. Trying to orb his way back underneath the tower. Day thinking about going for it. Not going to find. With the Glimpse still on cooldown, it looks like things finally will settle. But a lot of ruptured kills there for Conestoga as they kept TPing in, trying to extend the fight, trying to make something happen. Feeling that UMN maybe were overextending, but simply not the case, and instead give back a couple thousand in the gold as UMN able to take the lead. Still is Luna, top of the net worth, and farming away, hitting Ancients in the meantime, and rightfully so, going to be working towards the Manta style, and definitely not in fighting shape before the Manta style is available on Luna. Looking for some more points in the Lucent Beam as well, so it's a nice thing to see Micro not getting caught in the bait of, while the team is TPing to the mid and trying to take advantage of a timing. Don't want to see Luna get dragged into these fights, win one or lost, really. But round 2 going to come out. Conestoga didn't really find a good jump their first go around with the smoke with the Pudge Blink. Now the second one going to come through. Looks like the vision has been found onto the OD, but early go from Viper means Pudge isn't in the area to try and find the Blink. This time going to be able to get the hook, and they're coming from the fog, not able to anticipate it, so Red just going to go down. Still inside of the static storm. They've got Puck with the snipe as well. 2 kills for them. LMT on the back, going to channel up that freezing field, but borrowed time to save, and LMT will be going down. Favior needs to be really careful here as he's just going to hit forward and trade out his life. Looks like he's actually able to take down a kill on today as the shield wasn't quite available. Couldn't purge off those poison attack stacks, so at least is able to find that trade. Still, for your Blink fights with the Pudge, they're not starting off the way you want. They're not starting with Pudge finding the Blink. They're not starting with Dismembers. It was a nice hook that he was able to find. For a second, I was worried that OD was just going to be able to get out for free. As if the vision was there on the hook. If you throw it too early, then he'll just be able to dodge, or worst case, use the Astral to avoid it. Instead, the hook came from the fog, so tough nut to crack. Tori's speed just going to be off the mark with the Sentry Ward. A nice obs placed by the Disruptor. Notorious V's hunting, but as the 4 Pudge, you do have to be careful in these situations. If he does run into Windrunner, for example, there's potential where if it's just the one, you can get yourself into trouble. Luckily, he does have his Viper around, but the Windrun coming through. Fredberg trying to play his way out of here. Gonna be caught by the Viper Strike. The Shackle just gonna latch onto the tree, but another little runaway, taken out to the poison. Actually gets out at like 19 HP. I think that's what I ended up seeing, and the rest of the team is rallying behind. Looks like Notorious V gonna be the one caught out. The Glimpse finds Fabior as well. Isn't it just level 9 on your Viper, so continuing to play around and look for kills, but continuing to die. As hold that thought in the bot lane. Luna looking for the angle onto Red, but Red with the Astral able to run himself away and gonna be down towards the pit. He's got the TP ready as well. TP coming in from the Hoodwink actually in Red. Oh, the tree cut. Ships passing as Luna goes behind the pit, and that'll be the end of that one. (23-16) here, 18.5 minutes in. It's definitely been an action-packed game, this one. As we've seen it swing, can't say too wildly, but definitely a lot of swinging back and forth so far here. At the moment, it's UMN with all the momentum. 3 cores farming nicely, are behind the Luna, but really does feel like Viper's been the hero on the struggle bus this game. It's going to be hard to recover as well, as Did max out the poison attack, didn't max Nether Toxin, and Nether Toxin did get nerfed as well, so less damage level 1 than it used to be, and just basically nerfed the scaling. You have the same max damage, but Favior just didn't opt for a farming build, didn't stay in lane very long, and now been kind of stuck in the cold as they've not been finding kills, Conestoga. So in the levels department, really playing third support for now, and we'll have to see how he decides to get back into this game. Puck as well, a little bit poor, as Blink Dagger is ready, but again, gonna find the Static Storm dropped on his face. Notorious V was looking for the hook, gonna find the hook onto the OD, and with no Astral ready, they will find a return kill, and you're not gonna be too happy on this one as Puck, but it is still a valuable trade.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Human hanging around seeing if Conestoga aren't gonna push their luck, but looks like they'll just end up backing it off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
But I wouldn't be too surprised if shortly we see Pandemonium start to take over in net worth, not only from the rest of the supports with the Maelstrom completed, but from the Viper as well, and Puck's only a fight or two away from that mark as well. Ooh, the Eclipse coming through, Fredberg in a lot of trouble and just goes down, no shackle to be found.
The skies take
Not that it would have mattered as Micro. Excellent angle to take there, behind the over-ambitious wind. Rest of the Conestoga team is grouping up to try and push down this top tower, but Micro thinking about doing it himself. Manta Style ready, and can't imagine UMN really want too much to do with him. At least not for the time being.
Tower is under attack.
Starting to pull some resources up there as Day will be making his way. Working on a Manta Style of his own on the Abaddon.
Middle tower is under attack.
Echo Saber in hand as well, so not a greedy Radiance build up, but we'll be working on this Echo Saber Manta Harpoon most likely, and see if he decides to go into some kind of Sange derivative from there. I'd like to see a Halberd this game, just with the Sange buffs. I think that Abba would be more than happy to add that item to his kit. Not the most valuable this game, but Disarming Luna always has its charms. Taking a look through, Micro, we saw he had the BKB queued up, and talked about how an early BKB is pretty valuable against the OD. Well, instead, gonna be making his way straight into a Conda. And he's gonna be delivering it all in one go, by the way. I really do disagree with this this item build-up. Having played a lot of Luna recently myself, and having watched a couple of Lunas recently building up the Conda, it's a nice pickup gonna be found, Notorious V. We'll find the hook back before Steph not gonna save you on the squirrel. But yeah, having watched some Luna games with the Conda, having played a lot of them, because you have this level 20 talent, right, where you throw the you throw the glaives on Lucent Beam,
Under attack. Radiant's
the extra crit damage from an item like Daedalus, like if you want a crit item, right, you go to Daedalus, you get extra crit on these free glaives that you're getting anyway, and it ends up being more impactful than this Conda. I know it did get buffed, you know, you get 150 damage instead of 100 bonus
top tower has fallen.
on that Lucent Beam, but it's just not as strong as it sounds. It's like, it's just a little bit of a bait. Don't get me wrong, you are playing Luna and you do very much appreciate having a crit. Notorious V able to blink himself out of dodge. Cancelled out the smoke as well on today, so some nice going there from the Pudge. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I mean, you are still happy to have a crit on Luna, but it's light bait, and I would definitely appreciate having a BKB in this game. You've got Static Storm, you've got OD Kit to work with. Even the Shackle from the Wind is very, very annoying this game for Micro to deal with, and 4-1 and 3 on the Luna, top of the net worth. It does feel like one death on Luna really could make this game hard for Conestoga, as really only hanging in there in terms of the net worth because of the extra farm put on the Luna at the moment. As Puck and Viper really both struggling to stay relevant in this game. Can even see the Javelin queued up on Puck, so a little bit of extra damage, a little bit extra farm gonna be coming through in the way of the Maelstrom this game, but It's not going to be early at all, and it's not like Puck really needs it to farm. Instead, just needs to dedicate some time to hitting the creeps. But this is one way for Conestoga to avoid that first step on Luna. It's a pretty nice bind into the Roach Pit. Not a lot of attention been put onto this objective so far in the game. Like to see some of the rest of the team get involved. Micro definitely not going to be able to take this one himself. See University of Minnesota just not able to respond to this one, probably not knowing that it's going on, as we've seen neither team really make an effort to play down in this area recently, ever since the 20-minute mark, when teams generally do want to play around this first Roach timing. So the early bird gets the worm. Conestoga with that first Aegis of the Immortal. It's going to allow Luna to get active in these fights. And Luna is going to be one hard hero to bring down between the Aegis, between having the save from Notorious V, Blink Dagger as well, and like to see Pudge work his way towards the BKB as well, just to try and deal with the Disruptor. Blinks up the Aggron. They're looking for Pandemonium here. Fortunately, not quite going to find him, but on the pinch, it is Micro. Going to run straight into them, actually. Going to work with that Conda, but starting to get bashed into, half HP already, and getting hit even harder. The Manta almost dodged Notorious V's saving attempt, and could have been a recipe for disaster there, but instead Micro ready to start to go back to work, this time having the damage put on today. Able to pop that borrowed time, and it's going to be Viper caught out in the front. A couple of right clicks come through from the OD with a hook on the backline. Going to be a little bit disjointed from the coil on the front. Luna's going to pop that first Aegis, and Red falls low in the HP, but is able to find the force staff away, and Micro still trying to be involved, still trying to find kills. Nice two-man pushback to hold him back, and 1 for 1 at the beginning of this fight. Looks like Micro looking for an extra one. Oh, very close on the hook there. Still struggling to find the extra kill. Looks like one kill going to be found in day, but Red with the blink out of the backside finds the punch. One more click on the Notorious V as well. Picks off a couple on the backside. Able to force himself away as well, and Micro has the chase, but with the blink up in a couple of seconds for Red, should be pretty much out of danger. See how aggressively he wants to play this Pandemonium. Able to clean off one more kill. Even able to find the Astral to get his Hoodwink the hell out of there. And Force Staff ready for himself. Able to get away. Looks like he should be out. So UMN flexing the might a little bit of this OD. You can see how much damage he's able to put out in the fights. And it's actually not that much, but the kiting potential was certainly there. As even Luna putting out all this damage, not able to find kills. Really do feel the lack of BKB, and can tell Micro does as well. It goes straight back to that well. Now that the Conde is completed, going to be picking up the BKB next, but just a couple of things missing from that fight that will get addressed shortly for Conestoga. The main one is Luna getting kited a little bit. Well, with the BKB, with the level 20 talent, both of those things coming out will have very big impact on how much damage is coming out of from the Luna in these fights. And not only how much damage is getting spread around, but how much damage is getting applied to targets that need to be taken down quickly. Micro playing a little bit crazy down here, by the way. Able to get the Eclipse off. It's going to be bouncing around onto the creeps. Red looking for him, but with the Hurricane Pike, Micro trying to run him down, but it's all bluff and bluster at the moment. Trying to find the Fiend's Gate angle out. Static Storm dropped on his head. Means there's no shot he's getting away. Micro will go down. The rest of the Conestoga team trying to play underneath their ward, see if they can't find the angle, but it's not going to happen. Instead, UMN going to charge down the bot lane a little bit. Fredberg, haven't been talking too much about him, but with the Glepnir, Wind is online. Looks like the BKB going to be coming out for her as well. Working on the Aghanim Scepter, and yeah, that's a scary one. The Ags win. Another hook underneath the tower. See if they can't take down the Hoodwink. The Astral gonna be popped out just defensively though. And LMT looking to channel up that ulti, but he's invis and eventually will go down. There's enough AoE damage spread. Conestoga still working without the Luna.
Are fortified.
Back to work on the tower. UMN gonna go. Looked a little bit scary for a moment, but good recognition by them to just know that
Dire's bottom tower.
no real threat to their lives. See if they don't continue to go downhill here. So it looks like Day is more than happy to play around this bot tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Luna has made the TP in. Hook in the backside. Notorious SV just gonna blink away from that one. Tormentor next on the menu. Conestoga's will be taken away. Gonna go into the Hoodwink and Hook blinks into the back. Just gonna get an attack onto all of them. Drop off the coil before getting himself away. The Hook gonna be onto the Mantis coming through from the Abaddon, and Fabior, he's in, but the Static Storm dropped on top of his face. Will go down straight away. Fredberg on the backside with the BKB. Going to absolute town. The Shackle came through onto Luna. Just watch her melt. No BKB for the Luna. I mean, she's gonna be going down every time. 2 big cores dead for Conestoga, and Dismember save just gonna get out the supports. Tips come through onto Notorious V, maybe setting up that hook onto the Abaddon Illusions to kick it all off as a job gone wrong. As, oh, look at this, Red. Not paying attention to his hero. The Hook gonna take him down as Puck did have his number in the back lines. And Notorious V now gonna blink forward. Maybe the tips fueled him up a little bit. Looking for Pandemonium, trying to run himself away, but can only get so far against the Puck. Still gonna try, forcing him away. Day is in as well. And the Hook off the mark might just end this chase forward.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So now 32 to 22, 31 minutes in, but a 12,000 gold lead opened up by UMN as might have predicted the game a little bit by accident, saying that one death from Luna might send Conestoga pretty far behind. Well, we've seen it happen as Viper still struggling, still sub K net worth, as Hoodwink is overtaking even the Puck at this point. Just continues to acquire items off his back, and Luna once significantly ahead, now just barely tickling the top of the net worth board. BKB almost finished up. The BKB will be kind of the spike. Again, BKB level 20, both huge timings for Luna. They're going to come pretty much coincidentally here.
Dire are scanning.
So it almost feels like this next fight coming up for Conestoga is going to be the decider, whether they're able to continue playing this game or not. As BKB on the Courier 20 talent, ready to be taken. UMN, they're going to go ahead and get the smoke up now. So they're going to find a couple in the mid lane. The orb, it's going to be on to Pudge. And they're pretty done dealing with him. Not able to find the force staff up out of the high ground. And even if he did, most likely would have been going down anyway. So BKB. Not going to be used for a little while, but Luna doing a good job finding the farm, playing away from
Is under attack.
enemy heroes, playing away from UMN, and you can see him down in the bottom lane, just getting pressure towards the tier 3, hopefully gonna
Dire's middle
slow this push, or at least put a little pause into the University of Minnesota, but
Dire's middle tower.
they're not to be deterred, as straight up the high ground Day goes, using the Manta style to scout out on the back lines as well. The TP's coming through from everyone but the Luna, but Pudge still in the grave for 10 seconds.
Middle tower.
Not sure how much you really want to force this fight, but in the meantime, your racks are going down. There's the refreshed glyph to work with, but a second tier 3 going to go down to the Manta styles.
Are under attack.
Luna just now going to make the TP. It looks like the mid racks will go down in the back end, and need to get some kills out of this one, Conestoga, if you want to make it worthwhile, and that's a good start. Find the Disruptor, find the OD. Overstaying just a little bit, but University of Minnesota, if they can get out with just these 2 deaths, and it looks like they will, not going to be too displeased as they take down the set of barracks in the mid lane. They take down the tier 3 on the bot as well. Lose a couple of cores, but Roshan still yet to respawn, a minute and a half before it goes down. And Conestoga are just kind of forced to make this play where They're going to run down mid and try and get whatever towers, whatever objectives they can.
Is under attack.
But still does feel like the game swung a little bit further in Minnesota's favor off the back of that mid push. This is an aggressive one, by the way. Conestoga going up the high ground, just kind of poking their noses up. Micro looking for the angle in, but not quite going to find it. Even pops the Mask of Madness. Need to be careful. Don't want to get harpooned back. His day is going to get in. Is going to get in the middle of him. The Static Storm is going to be dropped onto 3, but Luna gets pushed outside of it, actually. Micro BKB off really late as the Shackle was so long on top of him. 73 seconds on the deck. And I said they had one more good fight in them to see whether they can keep playing this game, and that might have just been the last fight they had in them, as now up to 15k on the net worth. Not able to take down the buildings on the high ground. And it's going to be a third kill going their way eventually, as Pudge will be cleaned up. Dismember or not, make your way back to the well. In the meantime, Day, not to be forgotten about, just heading down the mid lane, says, I want this game to be over, thank you very much. Let's go and hit some buildings. Gonna make his way over to the racks on the bot side. They'll work on these ones. There are buybacks to work with on Conestoga, but not the easiest to find. A little accidental self-astral there, but no matter, as the barracks do go down. 15 seconds left on these kill timers, but 2 racks advantage going UMN's way. They'll be happy with that one and back out. And guess who has just respawned? Gonna be up on the top half of the map, and it is the big, the bad, the Roshan. Gonna be in his pit. Aegis and Cheese ready for the taking. Conestoga definitely gonna have to contest this one. They want to stay in this game, and it's not gonna be easy to do so. Not at all. Aghanim Scepter available for the win, so gonna be big and slippery. And it's so hard, right, to play Luna into this Wind Ranger. She has the Nemesis Curse, by the way, as well, so just one more layer of difficulty. Conestoga, we're hunting, but Roche falls so fast against the OD. So Aegis in his hands, Cheese over to the Wind Ranger. Conestoga gonna need a lot of things to go right for them in this next fight if they want to sneak out a win, and it's gonna need to start with taking down the supports. Not just the Disruptor, but also the Hoodwink has been a large problem in the backlines of these fights. Now we can see it has the crit available as well as the Gleipnir, so it's gonna just cause more chaos and confusion. Love to start this one off with a hook, but instead it's gonna be Fredberg finding the angle, looking for it. Well, they're gonna find Disruptor and silence up as well. Instead, it's going to be the punch going down straight away. Buyback is available to work with Luna on the front, able to get the BKB off. This time fighting back, fighting with a passion, but stuck on the front. The BKB going to be expiring, trying to get as much damage down. Does take down the Aegis, but just going to be the one, as now with the borrowed time, Luna going to be in some big trouble. Not quite taken down, actually. Able to get up to the high ground with the blink from Day. Very nice effort from Puck there to try and bail his Luna out. Lots of gold coming through from those kill streaks as well, as Conestoga does grab a couple, but the buyback from the Pudge was expended and ends up being just the 2 supports taken down, as well as that Aegis of the Immortal, of course. Still, it looks like it is enough to put a little pause into the University of Minnesota. It's going to buy Conestoga some more time into this game, at least for now.
Not so winded now.
38 minutes into this game, the kill is the same for Minnesota is just 26 for Conestoga. I do love, by the way, if you dismember an ally with the camera setting where heroes stack up on each other so it makes the portrait smaller. I don't know if you guys noticed this on the minimap. My eyes jump to it every time. It flickers the portrait, because generally it gives priority to one of the heroes depending on who is like on what side. So if you stand like left and right of each other but in the same place, one hero will go on top of the other, right, for the icon. But since Pudge dismembers you and you're on the same exact location, it just flickers like frame by frame to each of them, and it's very distracting to say the least. Oop, sorry about that. Toggle the fog by accident. That's what I get for pressing buttons on the keyboard. This is a big find onto Puck, by the way, not to be forgotten about, and a little bit of confusion as to where he actually was. The Static Storm was off the mark and able to find and jaunt away, so a little bit of good fortune there coming out from the Puck.
Radiant are scanning.
Static Storm going to be used up as well. Haven't talked about it, but the Aghanim Scepter is available on the Disruptor, so you've got that powered up Static Storm. He's going to be working on the Blink Dagger as well, and I don't know that we've actually seen an Static Storm before the one that we just watched miss, because it's been killed off early in the last couple of fights. Why we see him working on the Blink Dagger for the Disruptor. But might not even get that far. Stay up on the high ground, starting to go to work on the tower. Borrowed time still yet to be used, and gonna have it, just gonna continue to work on the towers. No cares in the world. Now gonna find the blink away. Luna did TP back for this one, so looking to find something on the front. The Dream Coil gonna be dropped out. Notorious B gonna find the hook as well, and they'll find Hoodwink. 75 seconds, no buyback. Micro chasing forward, but doesn't want to use the BKB just to get out of the kinetic field, so gonna leave it at that. Still, relatively low commitment kill off on the support, and looking for another one in the Disruptor. Not an easy escape for him. Will just go down. Did drop the Static Storm, but it's on such a short cooldown now that it's not going to matter. See what Luna's getting now. Butterfly is completed for him, so another way to deal with the OD in hand. Still going to struggle against the Wind Ranger, and
Dire are scanning.
looks like MKB not on her agenda, but the Nullifier potentially is. Gonna be just as annoying. So a couple of decent fights in a row for Conestoga again. Very ambitious, by the way. Trying to go up the high ground here, and Conestoga, I want to see them play a little bit more disciplined now. You know, you did a good job. You found the supports in the back. Doesn't mean that you're, you know, at all in fighting shape, as, you know, these kills are one pick off on the backside and then realize that you can't fight into them. Hook's going to come through, but still in a lot of trouble here, Conestoga. They're going to try and go forward. They're looking for Odie. That would be a big kill if you can find it. The BKB comes through. Red starting to be in trouble with that extra shield. Does end up coming through. Micro getting chased down, but she's going to be popped over in the front of the Wind Ranger. Trying to put the damage in, but there's not enough in the world to take down this UMN team. It's just going to be the one kill on the support, and the rest of the team going to end up being cleaned out here. Viper goes down. The TP's coming through. Able to get the puck back to the base. But that's kind of exactly what I mean, where Conestoga, they killed off a couple supports, but feels like they mistook that for a team fight win where they could, you know, play on even ground. Try and force down with Luna, and looks like they get a good catch onto OD, but this Aghanim Scepter, you get... I didn't click on him to see how much HP I actually did end up getting from the shield, but what, 70% of your mana? So that's like 70% of 3,000? So you have to deal with an additional, what, 2,400 burst HP or so? This member gonna come through, but you're without Luna again. Conestoga needs to let this Rax go, and it will be the Megas. Doesn't feel good, but they do at least live to fight another day. Fredberg ended up changing his mind, went back for the full Daedalus, just feeling that needed the damage to take down this Luna hero. Really, it's only the Luna that Fredberg needs to pay attention to in this game. As we have hit the point where Puck does start to have damage. I mean, Chrysalis ready, they're going to be looking for the Daedalus as well. But, still does feel like it's only the Luna show. Torments are going to be on the menu. Will be taken down, goes over to CM, so going to have the Crystal Clone to work with. One thing, by the way, I did just notice clicking on the Luna is there's no shard on Micro. Feels so hard. Shard is one of the ways that you can deal with the Wind Ranger Ags. This undispellable invis. You know, once you have the crit, the butterfly, like, you start to do pretty significant damage to anyone in melee range of you as Luna. So not only does it give you that damage block, but it also does give you the little bit of extra damage to pump out that maybe you're missing. Still, even with it, definitely not like Conestoga would be winning by any means, but just another one of those things. Taking a look around at them, see if there's any items coming out. One of the heroes, realize I haven't been clicking on, is the Viper, who looks like we'll be finishing up a BKB, but it's just been such a struggle for Favior this whole game. So rough. Still, we're 45 minutes into this game, number 1. As I'm saying that, I look over in the chat and see the new question: is this game number 2? No, this is game number 1. So might be a little bit late to our next series if things continue to go this way. Not that I'm really complaining. Bonus Dota is bonus Dota is bonus Dota. But gonna be found out. Hex and 3 hits come through from the OD before you do go down, and Red, well, not gonna be able to cancel off the Blink Dagger, so gonna settle for just the 1. Even though they are so far behind, that's still a 1100 gold kill, by the way. Dota's a little bit nonsense like that once you get late into games. Not too sure what UMN are waiting for at this point, but with the Mega Creeps, don't really want to go up the high ground, and then I guess I can answer that question with the Disruptor, as waiting inside of the pit will be spawning in 30 seconds. It is a longer spawn, so just gonna wait that one out. Second X gonna come through this time. OD maybe a little bit close to the base. Micro able to get the BKB off, but just gonna go down. Not the worst idea in the world on the Luna there, as could have been a big kill, and not the wrong read either, as Conestoga had the idea that Red might be a bit isolated from his team, and absolutely he was on the OD, but not enough follow-up to keep the OD chain down, and with the Hoodwink showing up as well, there was enough damage to take him down. Buyback was forced out of Luna straight away, and this time no need to wait for the Roshan. Disruptor left the pit just beforehand. But with the Pudge down, with Luna's buyback expended, they're just ready to start to bash away onto these tier 4s. Day says, enough of this game, I'm gonna start to hit away, thanks. Hex on the back lines, Luna in some trouble, forced away to the Static Storm. Doing a nice job making the wall, not letting anyone get back into the fountain, and will eventually end up killing off the team. Into the fountain they go to claim the couple of extra kills, as GG was the call. Game number 1 gonna go University of Minnesota's way. 47-minute victory for them, but did feel pretty commanding ever since that, what, like 25, 28-minute mark, maybe even a little bit before. And just able to capitalize on really that second Luna death. Just felt like it started to seal it already there. Conestoga trying to hang around for a while, but not the easiest way to do it. I have realized I scroll through the scoreboard really fast, generally, and I don't mean to do that, or I shouldn't do that. I just, naturally, my brain, when it sees the scoreboard, goes to all the things that I care about, which is not the things that that we care about in terms of the cast. So, gonna be back with game number 2 shortly. Ah, the logos that I put in that aren't sized properly. Cool. That's what I get for being last minute. But yeah, we're going to be getting underway with game number 2 shortly. Not exactly sure how long they're going to want in between. That's always one of the things that, you know, is kind of up in the air for these games. It's not coordinated the most by any admin, so we will be getting back into that one as soon as possible. I know we are you know, kind of drawing close to the start time of some of the other series around the league. While I'm looking here, actually, I'm waiting for the next lobby to go up. Just kind of interested if there's any games ongoing now. Like, I think Indiana's going on now. And yeah, it is. So let's do a little live peek into the Indiana game. Just some quick highlights here as do get set up for the next game. See if it won't let me in. Why not get a couple of highlights here? So let's see, 20 minutes in. It's like Indiana are kinda owning. Altius on the PA. Altius actually has the worst hero. I mean, come on, man. You see this guy play like AM, PA. What was the other? He played AM and some other like. God, of course he played this hero the other day. I can't remember. I was doing their series against RIT. They played 2 games, and RIT had to forfeit the 3rd. And Altius played like 2 heroes that just made me have that same reaction.
Divine.
Let me go make sure I'm not missing the lobby here, as that's going to be our look in. Indiana doing a very good job for themselves in this game. There's the lobby. There we go. So yeah, one more little peek. Now that I've fixed all the lobby stuff, we can keep our eyes on this one. It's gonna be a nice team fight, so we'll maybe watch this one and then go ahead and toss it to a quick break before we get into game number 2. Said it was gonna be a nice team fight. Looks like it's just gonna be pick off. What can you do? Burned wind run here actually is probably gonna kill off the wind, huh? There you go. Pretty easy kill. Why not? Altius owning 8-2 and 5 on the PA. 706 on the Quap, by the way, is another kill across the map. So there you go. We're going to be back with Conestoga UMN very shortly. Yeah, do stick around. It's going to be just a couple of minutes before we get into the draft. So be back with that one. And depending on how that series ends up, we'll be live with another series tonight. So stick around. We'll see you back in a few.
I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you set me free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you set me free? Another day to lose control. a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end. Holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you set me free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you set me free? Blow it up like a volcano.
Got drunk off your lie, and I lost myself again. You hit just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire. No, I didn't I'm the prey, but this time I won't collapse like I did yesterday. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give it this time. You broke my heart once again. Well, you're bad, but you're bad it for me. I can't give it, I can't give it. I've already run with the wolves. Far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you. I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side, I don't know. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't.
All right, we are back. You can probably see the draft is underway. Just getting into that second phase of picks now, with the Hoodwink coming through. I did see mentioned in the chat, it's Conestoga College, not university, and yeah, sorry about that. I don't know how I missed that in the standings. Those standings also aren't updated for last week's games. I don't have it set up to do that automatically, and I didn't actually get the time this week to do it before we got into today's matches. So before our next round of casts, I'll have that updated, and I will make sure to fix Conestoga College. It should be right in the title of the stream, and I think I got it right in all of the casts that I did, but I'm not sure. If it's wrong, I can dig through my my highlights this season as well and make sure that it's titled correctly in the other matchups. I don't really use text anywhere on screen, so it should be accurate in the... It'll be close enough. I remember seeing that. I try to do a good job at, like, knowing what teams are what before the season, but it's a little bit hard to keep them all straight, so apparently I missed it there. There was, like, okay, there was one actually last season that made me mad, because no one called me on it for, like, 5 weeks. For literally, like, 5 weeks. I had, oh, what school was it? I had, Rochester, RIT, but I had it, like, ROD, like, Rodchester. Just, like, totally typoed it on my screen. But when I was doing the standings, I was just moving the text back and forth. I wasn't retyping it every time. So it was wrong for like 5 weeks. I posted this graphic like a bunch of times. No one called me on it for so long. It's so stupid. So yeah, so dumb. But I guess it happens, you know. It's one of those things. But yeah, long story short, I'll get it squared away, I promise. Thanks for mentioning it. I probably wouldn't have noticed, honestly, if someone hadn't pointed it out. Though I like to think that this season, since I am retyping the standings every time, the typos will at least be different every week instead of being the same one carried through forever.
10 seconds remaining.
I think there's two colleges and the rest universities in this season of these. I think it's Seneca College as well, right? Yeah, Seneca College and Conestoga College, and everyone else is a university. Or your Georgia Tech, I guess, but they don't count. Anyway, starting to get late into the draft. Conestoga this time, well, they waited a couple of picks before picking up their Pudge, but it looks like Notorious V has himself a favorite hero. And that's got me very interested, actually, if they've picked this in the past as well. Let's see if I can't find that out real quick.
5 seconds remaining.
Conestoga. Conestoga did play last spring. I'm not that crazy. But they only played, oh no, they played 4 matches last spring, yeah. So, like, I've definitely seen them. Wow, Purdue played last spring? Is that right? That feels insane that Purdue actually had a team last season. I was casting last season. How did I not know that? Crazy. Who was on the Purdue team last season? Purdue, for those of you uninformed people. Yeah, Charles was not on the team. For those of you uninformed people, Purdue had the most toxic player ever in NACE, and this was back when it was CSL. He retired in 2022. And he was the most unhinged guy. He would run into people in pubs, and he would just flame them in the NACE like Discord, in the official like admin chat. He wasn't an admin, right? Don't get me wrong. But in like the help channel with all the admins, he would like flame people that he beat in pubs that were also in the league. Like, he was unhinged. It was ridiculous. He sent an email asking Valve for prize pool for CSL at the time. It's like, yeah, we should have a prize pool, so I'm gonna email Valve and be like, yeah, make this, give us money. Funniest thing. It was a little bit infuriating when he was in the league, but it's funny now.
Radiant team.
Anyway, I was looking for Conestoga here. It looks like they have just the one series on the ticket with one game. So it looks like Conestoga had some ticket trouble their first week or something. Actually, if they played week 1, they wouldn't have had the ticket, and then they've already had a bye week, so they had Georgia Tech, and they just...
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I see. Oh, they played under 2 different team names week 1. I see. I see the problem. Kind of ruins your stats if you do this, if you play under different team banners. Like, the way I look for stats is you can filter out by the ticketed games with your team.
Player team back.
But, you know, it doesn't make it easy when you play different stuff. And I played Nyx against Georgia Tech. Played Nyx and played Jakiro, so it's gonna be two games on Pudge for Notorious V if unless I miss my guess. But it's his first time playing it, at least in this season of Nace. If you are just tuning in, this is game number 2. UMN Radiant both times. UMN did choose Radiant, by the way. So I've been talking about this all season, and you know, at this point, if you're listening to my drafts, you probably have heard me talk about it, because why would you listen to my drafts in the first place? But I've been so interested in what teams are picking with their selection. So you win the coin flip, and what do you take? And mainly because I've seen so many teams on the same side every week. It's like I'll do a whole series, or I'll do 2 series, and teams will be on the same side for every game in that series. So they'll start on Dire, and they'll get game 2 on Dire, and they'll get game 3 if it comes on Dire. And it seems to be like that 50-50 split of like one team wants Radiant and the other team wants, you know, whatever, like first pick, for example. And then they just stay that way for the whole time. But the funnier thing coming out of that is we've not seen a ton of games where the drafts are all that similar. Like, we've seen a lot of games with very different drafts, despite having the same pick ban order and despite having the same Radiant Dire side. So just very, very interesting. Real quick about this draft, because I didn't talk about it at all. Naga Siren coming out for UMN, and they're going to go with a Lone Druid as well. So it's a pretty greedy team coming from UMN. They're not going to be in fighting shape super early. Lone Druid mid, even against Zeus, it's not a good time nowadays. Lone Druid got absolutely nerf hammered in this patch. I don't know exactly what he did to get it so bad. But the bear has, what, 300 move speed, I think, now, level 1? And you were just incredibly slow. Like, part of the identity of the hero is that the bear could just, you know, basically be the hero in the early lane. And that hero is now dog shit at level 1. That being said, I think in the mid, it might actually be slightly better than in the side lanes, because in the side lanes, I think your bear could just get run down and killed nowadays. But I haven't seen this hero since it got nerfed. Red's going to be, you know, teaching me the strengths and weaknesses of this hero past the 7.35C nerf. So I'm excited to see it. Otherwise, they're not going to have a lot of heroes to set the tempo around. They don't have the easiest way to play around the Centaur, and that does mean Morphling should be able to find farm. I like Conestoga's chances at getting involved with the Pudge, with the Mars, and if Notorious V has as good a game as he did game number 1 on the Pudge, I think it's going to be rather threatening. Now, that is pretty reliant on Pudge being, you know, a big laning presence, which I talked about game 1, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. That it's hard to rely on Pudge winning lanes in the support role, but Notorious V, you know, he'll make me walk my words back a little bit. He had a very nice showing game 1. And he's got some good heroes to do it against game 2 in the AA and in the Naga. These are not fast heroes. They're not particularly tanky heroes. They don't have a good stun to get away. So we saw a lot of hooks come through onto Wind game 1 against level 1 Wind run, and he's going to find one straight off the bat. This time, the hook before the rune going to set up a nice go. Oh, I will say the 4-man stun into the 4-man bushwhack. Definitely not setting up any kills for UMN, but it will keep Conestoga at bay. Warlock is exactly right at laughing at that one. And the funny thing is, too, Conestoga was in absolutely no danger getting killed, but does hold him back regardless. So game number 2 coming up. UMN did take game number 1 in a drawn-out 40-something minute game where they just had the advantage and continued to squeeze it. Runes go 2 for 2 here. At the conclusion of this match, whether it be after this game 2 or whether we do go to game 3, I'll be handling the rest of the USF versus Toronto series. So even if we do go 2 games, that series will be starting in like 8 minutes. So we'll be hopping in progress into game 1 if this one ends straight away. And otherwise, we will be, you know, joining on for game number 2 or beyond, depending on where that takes us. So that's the plan for tonight, but not going to harp on that one, as we do have an exciting game coming up. And if game 1 was any indication, Conestoga UMN is going to give us a fun one to watch, a fun one to cast. And the first kill onto Morphling in the top lane. Very early, just level 1. Stomp and Bushwhack. Not the spells that I thought would be killing off the Morphling. My radar wasn't even ready for that kill. That first blood does come pre 1 minute into this game. Tangle coming through onto Zeus. Said the bear wouldn't be too happy in this early lane, but 5 and 3 versus 3 and 1, and with levels, Zeus does start to not care. You start to just push out the wave, go hit the jungle, and do your Zeus thing. So maybe UMN are right that Lone Druid can do alright in this early lane. We'll have to see how the game does end up shaping up for him, but for now I'd imagine that lane's going to be a bit of a snooze fest, so we can take a tour of the side lanes as well and start to see what's going on here. And want to spend a little bit of time in this top lane, but I think, you know, besides that first kill, it should be pretty calm up here. The Fatal Bond's going to be nice to relieve some pressure here, and Conestoga going to have some nice harass, but ultimately Morphling shouldn't really be dying, and if Warlock steps out of position, he could be, but kind of on the other side, Morphling not going to be chasing down any kills either, so most likely going to be a more stagnant lane, as both of these core heroes just going to look to farm up. So on the bot side, I think is really where we're going to see the action. And want to see Favior have a better game this game 2 than he did game 1. Game 1 was really a struggle, and it can't have felt good to play that game. He was playing the Viper, never really found any farm. Well, he's playing Mars now, and this hero will get the initiation tools, but is a hero that does like to find more farm, and he's got the early hook through onto the AA, looking for the spear, but it's going to find Fredberg instead, so no kill coming through, but a lot of harass. Notorious SV picking up where he left off, game number 1. Gonna secure a Lotus for himself as well, as the HP not there to work with for UMN. But back to Favior, playing the Viper, there was no great opportunity for him to find his farm, but playing the Mars, he's gonna have a lot more tools at his disposal. Should be a happier time for him, and Naga will go away to the jungle relatively early on, I believe, against these heroes. You don't really want to get caught out by that first arena on the Naga Siren, so gotta play that careful. Up top, I talked about Warlock could die if he stepped out of position, while inside of the hard camp, gonna qualify as out of position. Second kill gonna go University of Minnesota's way early on into this game, and gonna make up for Day not having the best time farming up here. Does have 12 CS. Ooh, another kill gonna come through a little bit late on the attribute shift. Morphling gonna be really unhappy about this one. Gonna lose an entire wave underneath the tower, and maybe even make it a second one. Day looks like unfortunately blocked up the creep, so they're gonna hang out outside of the tower, but there they go. Morphling gonna be Not very happy at all about that, as the missed XP is... It's a tough pill to swallow for Micro. I'm gonna take a look back at this mid lane, see how things are shaping up. It looks like level 5 apiece on each of these mid heroes. 7s and eyes coming through for the Lone Druid, but... Zeus able to play his way as well, so... Nothing too much doing, just maxing that Arc Lightning, getting ready to get the farm up. For now, all's quiet on the map. But I have to take a look down as saw the hook come through. Fredberg, this time going to be dragged back, but with the cold feet applied, Notorious V not able to stick around. Still feels like every time I look down at this bot lane, there's a hook connecting onto someone. Even brings clarities for himself to this lane. Just continue to pump the mana up and continue to throw those hooks. He's not playing one of those PUD games where he's just hooking the big camp and making the XP, you know, making whatever plays. Impact hooks onto heroes, and hard to complain. Rotation of the mid lane early again from Pandemonium, but Heavenly Jump gonna get Zeus out of trouble. Up in the top, up in both lanes, we did see kills one apiece, but the early rotation didn't find the kill into the mid lane, did end up allowing Conestoga to get back up on the board. But in the meantime, the trade did come down bottom as well, so 4-1 here, early going. Take a look back to the mid lane as the 6-minute rune gonna spawn. The bear sent up to the top side. Zeus gonna make his way down bottom. But the shield rune gonna spawn up. And oh, another kill onto the Morphling. Just caught out by the damage. Not sure if he got the attribute shift off or not. But played so well game number 1, and this game number 2 really, really struggling, Micro. On this Morphling. Tempted to switch over to net worth already as well. He's actually second in net worth anyway, so despite 3 deaths, he's continuing to find the farm all right. Taking some damage this time. Was able to get the shift off, but just level 1 means it is slow. But slowed up by the upheaval. Looks like Day maybe this time bit off a little bit more than he could chew. The clicks coming through and do eventually take him down. Micro brings himself up to the top of the net worth chart on that one. And with the Thunder God draft, they're able to snipe off yet another kill. Zeus getting involved as well. Gets himself on the board with the assist. Shield rune on the bear, used to tank up the tower a little bit, but no trouble at all for the Zeus. Oh, wisdom rune. LMT might have the opportunity to deny that one off. Instead, they are going to end up going 1-for-1 in the chase down. Will be on for the Warlock. Centaur making his way over, but the TP gonna get it off in time. Nice reaction there. This time, Notorious V, I clicked on your lane while you were hooking a creep, so the long curse of me looking at you hit hooks, or the long not curse, depending on who you're rooting for, finally gonna be broken. Notorious V again, early level 5 here. Looking to go, but gonna be cold feeted in place this time, and Fredberg, well, gonna be forced to back away. All the heroes in the spot lane level 5 actually.
Invisibility.
Rotation coming from the mid lane as Zeus making his way up top. Thunder God's Wrath not going to be available, and looks like he was spotted out potentially.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Some good pressure in the mid lane in the meantime. UMN gonna take advantage. Zeus does return back, and this time it's Pudge. Notorious V is in from the gate. Looking to make the rotation up towards the top lane. Still, Morphling not at all interested in fighting this one. It looks like it might just be Pudge here to make sure the XP from the tower goes into the right hands. 5-3 here, 9.5 minutes into the game, taking a little bit of a slower pace than game number 1. Still, can't help but think that things slowing down means it's going Conestoga's way, because it's been a struggle up in this top lane as Micro able to get the shift off once again and doing alright for himself. Day gonna be hooked back, not quite underneath the tower, but the Warlock ult gonna be dropped as well, so the Golem gonna make sure they find the kill. Thunder God's Wrath to secure it. That was Notorious V who ended up with the kill to his name. Notorious V falling very low. One turnaround quick. Oh, he's not going to find it. What an absolute psychopath. What an absolute psychopath, this Pudge. Jesus. Man. One click at any point would have killed him. Like, AA just turns around and clicks him. He's dead. But you can't complain, it ended up netting him a kill. I mean, don't mess with success. We'll take a look down at the bot lane. Fredberg continuing to farm in the lane. I was saying that initially that this wouldn't likely happen. You don't want to get caught by the early arena. But before the level 6 came out for the Mars, they did rotate Pudge away. He hasn't made his way back to the bot lane as of yet. Faviort just continuing to farm down here. This time going to be caught out by the Cold Feet, but able to run his way back to the tower. The TP going to come through from the Warlock. Toss out a little bit of Harass and the Fatal Bonds. As they're going to have a scary, scary combo later on this game. The Fatal Bonds into Zeus spells is no joke, the amount of damage that will come out there. Micro going this newfangled, old-fangled build with the Vlads up. Ice Blast gonna be off the mark. It's a pretty cute play that he tried to do, and I wish I had moved the camera in time to really catch it, but he threw the Ice Blast from bottom, then took the gate so that it would have like no travel time despite being that huge AoE. Lotus gonna be picked up for Morphling and left for the entire duration, by the way. So there's going to be another one spawning here at 12 minutes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Micro waveforms forward, going to turn into the center of the stomp. It's going to catch on to 2. A nice kill with the Thunder God's Wrath, the health, and the second one going to be hooked up by Notorious V. Falling low with the Cold Feet, getting bashed by the creeps as well. But Micro underneath the tower. There's no TPs coming. Pandemonium in a lot of trouble here. One more waveform will do it, but it's actually on cooldown for a little while. Kill the stomp. Well, it's going to be off the mark. Double edge to try, and a right click, maybe another right click. Still the waveform. Then looking for the angle, gonna find it. Maybe it's not enough. Pandemonium's living. Micro in some trouble now. No waveform for 15. He's gonna try the TP, but the pushback from downtown, it's gonna find him. Oh, just overextending a bit and not able to find the kill. So desperate for that hoodwink kill, because you know it's hard to TP in front of the supports. Meanwhile, in the mid, nice Dismember going to try and get Zeus out of trouble and turns it around. They did drop the Golem as well, but looks like the Druid going to be happy enough to stay underneath the tower. The TP going to come in from Favior. Make me eat my words immediately. The Arena Spear combo going to take him down. Zeus was so low in the midst of it all, but going to be healthy enough to stay in this lane.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
7-8 here. Things are just about knotted up as the slightest of gold leagued to UMN. The Conestoga feeling very much in this game, and just like game number 1, they're position 1, top of the net worth boards. They're 2 and 3, slightly behind, but not as far behind as they did feel in game number 1.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Favior working towards that Blink Dagger, and once we see that come out, just need to make sure he doesn't fall in the same trap as he did game 1. The Hook gonna find the Druid, and this time there's gonna be no ult. The Red potentially in a lot of trouble, slowed up by the upheaval as well, and Scratch the potentially, certainly in a lot of trouble as he did go down. The Arcane Rune bottled up for Zeus as well. Phylactery available, and look at this build. Look at this Chad build, by the way. Zeus not going for the magic damage, not going for maybe a Sanjin Kaya or an F-Blade. They're going to be going straight for the Manta style.
Under attack.
Going the ye old right-click Zeus, or maybe ye new right-click Zeus. Can't say that it's particularly good, but can say that it's particularly epic. Ice Blast, slightly off the mark there. Gur able to walk it off. Blink Dagger, ready for Falviort with the Healing Lotus. Will have the mana to cast the Arena, cast the Spear, but looks like Naga gonna be the hell out of here. Fredberg ready to just go over to the jungle. Manta style nearly completed for the Naga as well.
Dire are scanning.
Take a look at the Druid as poorest core on his team. Around 6,000 in the net worth department, and that sounds about right. Does have the Diffusal Blade, but have seen him struggle just a bit recently, though. Feel like every time I say words, the opposite thing does happen. Notorious V gonna give him a freebie.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Feast on some heroes instead of feasting on the creeps.
Are fortified.
Set up to try and take this mid tower as well. Pretty low, the Demolish from the Bear has been putting in work. Lift did come out late. LMT in some trouble now. Tried with the Fatal Bond's gonna drop the Golem as well in the arena on the backside, but the Spirit's gonna be off the mark. Still, the Bear will eventually go down, just ramming its head into the wall. Song of the Siren comes through. The waveform forward red. He's not gonna be able to TP out of there. Fredberg as well, gonna be caught by the stun. It's short duration from Micro. See if they have any more catch. Faviord, he's gonna be working with another Blink. See if he can't find the range, but the Spear, well, it's not gonna be on the mark. Just pushes Fredberg up towards the high ground. Ultimately, though, they do drop a lot of ults, but they find some pretty valuable kills, as well as the tier 1 in the mid. So, Conestoga can't be sad about that trade. They're going to look to take over this jungle and start to establish their presence on the map. Morphling definitely more in fighting shape at the moment than Naga will be, so. Gonna have a little bit of a window here, Conestoga, to start to take over the game. And I do love this play. They're setting up like they're gonna do a little bit of poking at this tier 2 in the bot lane.
Under attack.
Zeus doesn't push it very fast, but they have the siege creep here. Not the easiest to defend for UMN. Remember up on the high ground, and it's going to be a two-man bushwhack. They're going to get caught out on the backside. Favior, well, he's looking for Day, and they will take him down. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Fool me once. Was looking over at the tower taking, and didn't hear the punch in the backside, but looks like just a little bit over-ambitious with the Blink Dagger picked up. So both of those Blink heroes went in a little bit too far, looking for the extra kill. Still a couple of nice wards. I mean, pointed out game 1 that they might have overcommitted to warding their own jungle, but this time, all the wards in the enemy half, they're going to be ready to respawn and get back to work down here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Up in the top lane, once again fishing with the Ice Blast, not going to be on the mark. Micro, Manta style Vlads. Feeling pretty strong. See if he does decide to go into the Conda next. It's been a popular choice. Third item coming up. You could go for a different item, but something like the Lincoln Sphere doesn't feel all that this game, and not too sure what else might be on the agenda. They're going to group up on the bot half with the team, like this play, and like I said, they're going to group up back towards the jungle, this time notably without their Zeus, but Smoke is ready. They're going to be moving into their own vision as well. They do decide to make the play. Taking a look over at Zeus, see how the progress is coming. Looks like he did go back for the shard. Fredberg. No trouble at all. Just going to snatch that regen root and get the hell out of the way. Favior, quick blink. Nice fingers, doesn't get diffuseled there. Maybe got diffuseled there, actually. I didn't hear the sound go off, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. 19 minutes in, 12 to 10. These are my favorite paced games, by the way. So many people, and this might be like, you know, a very cold take, I'm not sure. But so many people seem to love these, like, oh, it's 20 minutes in and it's like 32 to 16 and, you know, game is so brawly and whatever. But I like this, you know, more methodical play. The blink in the backside. I say it's methodical. Fabior, well, he's in balls deep. Looking for the kill this time, the Ice Blast. Nah, it's going to be off the mark again. Micro ready to jump forward again, looking for the AA, and we'll pick him off over to the side. The Upheaval doing absolute work. The Bear was chasing forward, but just goes down. The rest of the UMN team, they can't get into the fight, and now it's awkward. Naga with the Illus trying to just hang around, but dip a toe into that Warlock slow, and what can you even do? Conestoga UMN game 2 definitely heating up here. 13 to 10, 20 minutes in. And Conestoga doing a great job taking over the map. They get this tier 2 in the bottom. Now they're going to work towards the Roshan. Just very methodical this game. And really the opposite of game number 1. Game 1 was a little bit discoordinated. Game 1 was a little bit on the back foot. There wasn't a lot of attention paid really on either side to the objectives, and just felt a little bit slow. Well, game 2... 20 minutes in, they know they can take the road. They're going to go for it. See the pings coming out as UMN maybe thinking about contesting, but it looks like maybe just going to be left behind as simply farming up the map. So it'll be an early Aegis coming through for the Morphling. For those of you joining us expecting the USF series, USF Toronto, we will be covering that at the conclusion of this one. So far, series score 1-0 for the University of Minnesota. So depending on how this goes, we may see a game 3 as Conestoga College Condors are looking to make that happen. They're looking in good shape to do it as well. Looks like Morphling gonna reveal the smoke, but a couple of blinks. Gonna be looking for red here on the Lone Druid. Just gonna start it off with the hook into the Dismember. Gonna take him down. No blink required. Kill onto the mid Lone Druid. Really been struggling this game. Talked pregame about the nerfs to Lone Druid that, you know, the bear early might be a little bit weaker. Well, we've not really seen any impact from that. Instead, just getting caught out now. And well, Conestoga looking very strong. Able to take advantage of their earlier timing with the Morphling against the Naga Siren. Naga not able to farm the entire map like she wants to. That's why we see her a little bit behind in the net worth in terms of being against the Morphling. By the way, did see the Conda pieces picked up for the Morphling. Looks like he's just waiting on that last point booster to take it down. But this is an early high ground attempt. Glyph gonna be forced out. Micro wants to stay on the high ground, and Notorious V underneath the tower was looking for the hook, but not gonna find it. Still, spells being used to clear out the wave, and Micro trying to finish off the tower. It's low, it's not quite going down, but a couple of heroes not willing to come back in the Centaur and the Naga means that Conestoga, well, they might just stick their noses back up here, but eventually, looks like their wave was cut behind them. As Fredberg made his way down here. We see the recently picked up Orchid on the Naga. This is generally the first go time item. You go for either the Orchid or the Diffusal Blade, depending on the game. Diffusal Blade falling out of favor more recently. Did come back briefly with the Disperser buffs, but then being nerfed a little bit like this Orchid play. Okay, is there another Sun? Well, a hook will bring him back. Stampede doesn't save him from that one. Oh, but the Ice Blast! It's gonna take out the Aegis. Shouldn't be nothing following there as Warlock over to the side. Starting to take some damage from the Naga illusions, but definitely don't want to contest into the Conestoga team. Sharpshooter not going to quite make it. Viper's going to be waiting out the Conda before they do go any further, and depending on how aggressive Conestoga want to play it, they could even wait out, you know, potentially the next Aegis. I know it's like 7 minutes away, 6 to 7 minutes away, but I don't think they are in too much of a hurry to force this game. Notorious V with the blink behind the tower. Again, wants me to be wrong. not quite gonna find the AA, and now Morphling in some trouble. He just goes down behind the tower. They've got enough damage. Thunder God's Wrath came through and did take down Ancient Apparition eventually, but Micro says sorry for all chatting. I think you're okay, but might be a little bit more worried about what that does to your game, because dying underneath that tier 2 tower, I mean, it's game 1 on the Luna all over again. That one death is going to end up being so impactful. And sometimes it's like that on carry heroes, where you get out to this lead, but you're kind of the team's power and utility and safety blanket all in one. So going down can be a pretty hard time, and especially with this Zeus build. I mean, haven't been clicking on him, but Manta Style completed, just going to build towards the Moon Shard. We've seen this this Lightning Hand Zeus in the past, and it's never been very good. It's never been all that strong. And you do always very much feel the lack of defensive items on Zeus when you're going this build, when you're going this Manta Style and the Shard. You go for the attack speed. Seen Mjolnir before, but you know, that's even stupider. You're not working with BKB, you're not working with a ton of HP. It's not easy to get items that do those things for you, at least not in a timely manner. So it's a little bit of an awkward place to be as Zeus, and he's going to get caught out in the mid lane. Well, eventually the Stomp is going to be pump faked. Eventually the Stampede's going to be dropped with the Arena over the top. See if they can't turn this a little bit, but instead Favior, it looks like he may just be in trouble. Notorious V hanging around. They're going to drop the Warlock Golem late. The Fatal Bomb's over the top, but they're not going to contribute that much. And the Song of the Siren going to bail him out for the time being. Micro hanging around, not going to be caught in that Ice Blast, but it's going to be a 4-for-1 trade. Micro able to snipe the bear off to the side as well, but escaping with his life still might be a little bit of a challenge. So there's going to be a Diffusal Blade coming out from red. Turn around with the Centaur Stomp. Micro trying to play his way away. Waveform's going to be available, but needs to be able to get it down to the low ground instead. Orchid going to catch him out and make that a 5-for-1. I said 4-for-1. Make it a 5-for-1. UMN clean house in the mid lane. Set up from a nice jump, a nice find on the Zeus. Just hitting creeps without a care in the world in the mid lane. Conestoga eventually just kind of dumping their ults, but after the fight really had already ended. Drop the Arena after Zeus goes down, drop the Warlock Golem after the Arena goes down, and at the end of the day, you don't really have any damage. Talk about how the Fatal Bonds and the Zeus can team up to do a ton in fights, but so far we haven't seen them coordinate all that much on these two heroes. And it's giving space for Fredberg on this Naga to get big. Eternal Shroud picked up. Gonna be a pretty valuable piece against the Zeus, and gonna be working towards the Scotty, working towards the Heart. Once those items do come out, we'll see a pretty difficult to kill Naga. I mean, the burst damage is there, but it's hard to burst through a Naga at any stage in the game, let alone once she's got Scotty, once she's got Heart, and just raw HP to work with this game, especially against the magic damage coming through from Zeus. And once again, we've seen Favior, his game's taken the backseat. So even though Conestoga were ahead in this game, Mars not finding the farm, not really hitting the creeps, which felt okay while they were ahead, but now all of a sudden you're behind and struggling to find relevant items in this game. Really want that BKB to work with, but Favior, I mean, justifiably so, looking for the Shivas as well. These items just aren't coming anytime soon. This game, Day, I mean, he is in a similar boat on the Centaur. So it's not as if Day is having some phenomenal game either. Let's just see him prioritize his farm a little bit more in the downtime. Whereas Conestoga, well, they haven't really been able to do that. And you can just see how they're playing on the map now. They feel squeezed. I mean, they're down about 4,000 gold, Conestoga, but they feel very, very squeezed. Naga's been left behind to farm her entire jungle, while the rest of the UMN team just plays the enemy half, and most recently in their triangle. Notorious V.
Invisibility.
Looking for that angle forward, not able to find it.
How about I do this?
Pinged out the word. Looks like he's got sentries coming, maybe. So we talked about Micro with the Conda. Looks like he'll be working for it. The Butterfly next. The hook. Gotta save him. Ice Blast was coming through, but not in time.
Is under attack.
It's another fight where Conestoga nearly get picked off from their own mid lane. This time able to get out of dodge. And Notorious V just continuing to be an impact player on this position 4 Pudge. Favior smoking a break on the Centaur. Gonna look forward. The blink. Anticipating the blink from Day perhaps, but the Spirit's gonna be off the mark. Does have Arena to work with, but they're gonna lead off with the Dismember. Still, 2-man Bushwhack gonna interrupt things. The hook gonna be off the mark as well. Warlock looking for the angle, looking for the goal, and they will drop it down onto Centaur. That's an Aghanim's Warlock, by the way. So the Paragolem's gonna be spawned on the backside. Ends up being Zeus who claims the kill. Careful not to overdo it here, guys, as they look to approach the high ground, and backdoor for some reason is off. No, backdoor's on. Okay. Hook onto the bear. Golems can't take down the tower. No creeps to work with, and these are just going to feed a little bit of gold. Looks like the tower might have gotten the hit. No, Pandemonium got the hit onto Golem. Roshan has respawned in the meantime, so Conestoga, a very mistimed kind of poke up the high ground into backdoor instead of looking for a potential Roshan. Instead, they're going to give up this bottom area of the map. And it's at about the worst possible time as the bad boy is back in his pit. Fredberg going to waste no time starting this one off, and it should go down for free here. This is Rosh number 2, so it's going to come with that almighty Roshan's Banner. Roshan's Banner still has global cast range, by the way. This is my daily PSA. For some reason, you can put this thing down wherever you want on the map, regardless of where you are. I don't really understand why. And my natural instinct is always like to place it wherever you are. Oop, Micro. It's haunting, but just force out a Stampede. Anyway, back to it. My natural instinct is like, oh yeah, you put down the flag. Like, you plant the flag where you are, and that's exactly what Fredberg does, right? He puts the flag right where he is. And it should buff up these creeps, right? Uh-oh. Okay, it does buff up the creeps. They just get in range. That could have been a little bit awkward. Anyway, you plant the flag like where you are, but no, you can just put that across the map. You can put that wherever the hell you want. TPs are coming through. Conestoga thinking about defending this tier 2 tower. The hook, it's going to be off the mark. Notorious V. They're going to find the arena, though. It's on the Centaur. That's a good first target. The Ice Blast, it's going to be thrown on the backside, but it's not going to really connect. And a couple of quick kills going Conestoga's way. The bear going to go down as well. And Red gets himself up to the high ground, trying the TP, see if they can't find the stun, but instead... Nice timing on the song. Gonna make sure that Naga is able to TP her way out as well as the lone druid. Didn't comment on it, by the way, but the Aegis was put onto LD, which is relatively awkward. I mean, LD is a transformation hero in both senses of the word, in the ultimate and in the Spirit Bear. And if these go down, the Aegis really not that impactful on you. I understand not wanting to give it to Naga. I mean, feel like Naga can't die, and you know, if she does, you have other problems than just going down the once. But to be fair, I would have rather see the Aegis on, you know, the Centaur, or I was gonna say maybe a support, but I think neither of these supports really have the same oomph after they die. But you could have put it on Centaur and just had him play hyper aggro. Fredberg, Bloodthorn going to work on to Pudge and Day with the Stampede, going to make sure he goes forward. Micro caught out potentially, trying with the shift, trying to get out of there. The Warlock only going to be dropped over the top of the Fear, keeping Micro at bay. Now inside of the upheaval, they're fighting around, but still able to take down the Morphling. Maybe he's living through it. Oh, they're doing so much damage. Go on the backside. I said the lightning hands were bad, but he's going to town. Fredberg's going to die. Oh, it's a double kill. Red goes down. There's no more tools to work with. No Spirit Bear for 50 seconds. The ult, it's going to come back off cooldown. But is it going to be enough to get him back to the fountain? Looks like the answer might just be yes. Favior, another blink to work with. Can't extend more. so much damage coming in from Zeus that fight as they couldn't cancel out the upheaval. That's a full duration channel on the upheaval. On the back of it all, LMT, he doesn't need any defensive items to work with to find the channels. He just stands and waves those mighty hands. Oh, it's craziness. Morphling did end up going down, but eventually did get them some kills as well. It's a big deal there for Conestoga. They take down the Aegis, which I did mention, not really the most impressive thing in the world, but it'd be nice to take that down. More importantly, they do take down the Naga. This is 8-1 and 11 on the Zeus. I talked about the struggles this hero can have. Well, Gur's doing a pretty great job at it so far. I don't like the next item he's got queued up here in the Kaya Yasha. He's already got the Yasha piece from the Manta. And he's not going to want to disassemble that one either.
Tower is under attack.
See if he doesn't decide to change his mind at some point. Could go for an Ethereal Blade. Would like to potentially see a BKB out of the Zeus as well, and just make sure you can survive to keep hitting in these fights. But even something like a Kaya Sant might be impactful. A little bit of status res to work with as well. Faviort, by the way, did finish off that Shiva's, working towards the BKB, and more than halfway there. I mean, it feels like once Mars gets this BKB, some of the net worth issues he's been facing are going to feel, you know, surmountable again. He's got decent HP to work with, and he's been filling that role nicely of the Initiator getting the arena down, and really he's been providing a great front line for the Zeus and for the Warlock, and we've seen the impactful spells get dumped every single fight. So doing a great job there, and it's Day kind of in a similar boat, still working towards that Shiva's, dreaming of a BKB later on in the game. But as of yet, not able to find the push forward. Faviort looking for the kill onto red. Gonna not be able to get the arena down, and Notorious V gonna miss the hook this time, but the Dismember, oh, gonna be cancelled on the bear. Looks like they didn't have enough to take it down. Zeus a little bit far away, and Morphling not in the area at all. Kaya Yasha was completed, by the way, for Zeus. It is in his stash. Waiting to bring that one out for himself. And about to have a refresher on the Warlock. It's going to be a pretty scary timing when the refresher does come out for Warlock if he's able to get the kit off on the backline. Seen how much value we can have pressing abilities once, but
Radiant are scanning.
make it doubly so when you get the second round of them. Smoke came through from UMN, making their way down to the bot side. Morphling not here in the jump forward. They're going to find the two-man stun this time. Going to be on to Zeus straight away. The hook through. Notorious B doesn't have the shard. Does he have the shard? He does. Wasn't able to grab Zeus into his belly, but didn't matter. And going to end up losing a couple, but somehow Zeus escapes. The tip onto Notorious B. The hook did save him. Very scary not having the Dismember to work with there. Figured that he was going to get out, and then all of a sudden doesn't get eaten. Like, I thought I saw him queuing up the shard at some point this game.
Dire's structures are fortified.
It's going to be a BKB finished on Morphling as the high ground starts to get threatened. UMM want to work with the Demolish of the Spirit Bear as want to take down this mid-tier 3 tower. Still Conestoga can't think about defending this one.
Dire's middle
Warlock going to be spawning in 10 seconds. They have another round of the Glyph to work with. Micro need to be careful here. The waveform for the BKB. Very bold not to shift, but he takes down one. Fredberg in some trouble. Is there enough damage before the BKB runs out? Well, it's the 9-second Micro looking for the angle. The double force step gets Fredberg to safety, but sniped down by the Lightning Man himself. 3 kills for Conestoga. Warlock not needed. As Micro with that fresh BKB, absolutely ballsy on this man. Didn't shift at all. The harpoon, the pump faked stuns from Centaur. Looked like he might have died 2 different ways there, Micro, but ended up taking down the kills. 11 and 7 here on the Morph. And they'll look to go up high ground themselves.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Micro eating some tower shots, but not going to care too much. The Glyph going to be dropped from UMN, but the tier 3 tower certainly to fall. Is Micro looking to go underneath the tier 4 towers, looking for the kill. Just barely escaping with his life. Hoodwink. That was the Stampede dropped as well. Is working on cutting the creeps here in the back day.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks
Looks like there's no more wave, actually. Managed to cut it before, so the backdoor does kick in. Tier 3 taken as well as the melee racks, but that's all they're going to get. Team going to be forced to back off now, and with the TPs, just make sure you do back off together. Conestoga needing to get out of this one, and they will. So 25 to 21 here as we come up on the 40-minute mark of the game. Conestoga jumping out to a 7,000, make it 8,000 gold lead. Still does definitely feel like anybody's game, as just takes one kill onto a core. I mean, it's 3 and 2 onto the Naga. One more death on the Naga makes things really, really hard, but one more death onto Zeus kind of does the same, so. You're looking for who gets the next initiation, next big jump, and might just be around the next Roche spawn. It's going to come up in 2.5 minutes, so about as long of a spawn as we get. Didn't see the exact timer, unfortunately. But Conestoga making sure to set up around this bot half of the map.
Dire are scanning.
As I will say, Micro is continuing to play like an absolute psychopath. His whole team is bottom, and Micro's just like hanging out in the top lane where UMN could realistically be making a stab. Now, he'll walk by those bounty runes, and with the Zeus ult, they'll get some good info. And they're going to use the information off that Zeus ult that they're all on the top half to put a little bit of pressure onto the barracks in the bot side. TP's going to start to come through. Centaur going to be first. Day cut out by the upheaval. He's so slow, but Stampede going to be dropped. Warlock golden to try and get him away. It's so awkward. Conestoga going to be fighting without their Morphling. Still, the Warlock refresher going to work. They're going to go 1-for-1 in the off laners. And the Golem's all going to feed up the high ground. Conestoga should be able to get the rest of the team away. Zeus needs to make sure he gets himself out, and Warlock just able to get the TP off. Morphling just starting to come down bottom now, but not too sure you want to take this fight. Warlock not going to be around. Spell's not going to be worked with. Lightning hands, man. Micro on the backside. I said he's playing like a psycho, and sometimes that happens when you play like a psycho. Just gets himself caught out going for the extra kills on the back lines, and the rest of the team going to get cleaned up as Pudge does take down one. And that's the pretty big one in the Lone Druid. Fredberg falling low as well. Very awkward. Fredberg will find this kill onto the Pudge eventually. The blink. Notorious B, the 4-step up the high ground, the TP. Don't tell me he gets out. Oh my goodness. Notorious V is an absolute gamer. Still, the kill onto Morphling's a big one, and you get out with your Naga Siren alive. Scotty and Hart ready, going to be working towards that Disperser next. Even despite the nerfs, it's a very nice item to pick up on Naga. Line's going to be drawn down through the Roach Pit, going to be spawning in 10 seconds. So UMN going to be first down here, see if they're not able to grab the Roach for themselves. As with the Naga, they can take it relatively quickly. Seed spawn for him, and Day gonna start to go to work. Refresher Shard gonna be available on this Roche number 3. Now the Naga's in, the Roche will die off. No contest gonna be coming through as Conestoga just respawning now. Notorious V was sneaking up, trying to maybe make a play with that blink with the 4-step. Double Shivas, by the way. Mars and Pudge both picking one up. Just more work to try and take down these Naga Siren illusions. Figure out which one is the real hero. Micro about to hit that level 25. Waveform cooldown is the typical choice here, and would expect him to go for it as well. Smoke play coming through from Conestoga. Everyone but Micro going to be caught by this one, and Fabio are going to pop, going to find the red. It's a big kill to find this member on the backside, and the Druid is just dying, speared into the arena at the end of it all, and 85 seconds on the deck, no buyback. Hoodwink as well goes down, getting dragged back in, and Micro now with the BKB. Trying to turn it around, trying to go onto someone. Needs to be careful about the Song of the Siren as Micro. Low on HP as it is. Faviort, though, wants in on the high ground. The Song gonna come through. And is there enough for round number 2? Fredberg, the one with the Aegis, not an easy kill the first time, let alone the second. They're gonna be looking for Zeus. And Manta style, well, he can't get it off, chained up perfectly. Sure does go down. Now the jump forward from Micro wants in, but he's pretty high strength, so not quite gonna have the damage. They still don't have the creeps to put any work in onto the barracks either. Gonna end up needing to force themselves away as Notorious V. Gonna grab up the Mars, put him inside, and take him out of here. Pretty awkward engagement there. Conestoga did a great job with the initial jump, but they just kind of ran out of gas. But instead of recognizing when they were out of gas that you just got to take the reset, they kind of walked up the high ground knowing they had no spells, Morphlings going the other way, and one Song of the Siren's all it takes when there's no BKBs remaining. Just gets you out of position. Notorious V not able to save there, and like I said, Zeus just chained up perfectly on the high ground. Not much he's able to do at that point. Take a look over on the Radiant side. Looks like Day still working on that BKB. It's been a struggle for Day, just like it has been for the Mars as well. Look at this build-up. It's going to be Aghanim Scepter on the AA. Generally, we see this after some more levels have come through, like far later into the game, but I suppose it is 45 minutes in, and he's thinking about the late game on the Ancient Apparition, wants to get involved as a damage dealer. They already do have Hoodwink. Gleipnir, Witchblade, working towards a Charisma. Not my build-up of choice. And, you know, no Mage Slayer on anyone. Could have been a Mage Slayer on the Hoodwink, I think, but not on the radar. Most likely just getting a little bit overshadowed by the nerf. You know, it's not worth getting. Hoodwink is one of the heroes I think it is still worth getting the Mage Slayer on. Kind of ironically, because you are able to throw it on the backlines. Kind of like Ember, how you're able to apply it to everyone for pretty free. But unlike Ember, you're not generally playing this Hoodwink in a core role where you're hanging off the back of every item the squirrel gets, and you're not one of the supports that needs a lot of items to keep yourself alive in team fights either. I think that's where the idea comes from. Looking over. I haven't clicked on the bear in a while. Looks like the AC completed the inventory full of Wraith Bends as well for red. But not very wealthy on the Lone Druid, I have to say. Has all the farm been vacuumed up on the map by Fredberg. Minute left on the Aegis for this Naga Siren as hit 47 minutes into the game. Things once again have started to stall out a bit. I think UMN are recognizing they don't initiate fights super well at this point. Centaur not being very wealthy and fighting into Warlock a couple fights too many means that they really want to be the ones counter-initiating with Song, using that to set up their kills. And Conestoga not too interested in pushing into the Aegis, though. With their spells back off cooldown, they are making their way back towards the enemy base. But I think this game does have the makings of going ultra late. We could potentially see the 60-minute items come through. If Conestoga do decide to play for that timing, because I do think UMN really do struggle to force an engagement. The only engagements they're really going to be able to force are around Roshan, and even then, unless you want to put Naga in the pit, hold that thought, we're going to have a fight break out. The arena gets dropped on the Centaur. Centaur is living through it all. He gets the Stampede through. The Warlock will drop on the back, and they will trade out. Pudge did go down. One round of the Warlock spells, does still have the Refresher again. Pushing before the backdoor comes out. Like, they're not waiting for the creeps to come through. They just get to the base and just go on Conestoga. It's very greedy. Oh, the jump forward, the snipe did come through onto Micro. Micro taking a little bit of damage, rooted onto the backside, but it's far away. The second wave of the Warlock spells did come through. The Song of the Siren trying to cancel out Bakur. He's got the BKB to work with. He's punching through with the Lightnings. Able to get himself away from there, and now Micro waveforms down to the low ground. A couple of buybacks coming out from UMN, not accomplishing all that much. And it is the Song of the Siren down. The AA Blast going to be jumped on the backside, but Faviort in with another round of the Blink. Micro starting to go to town, starting to go to work. He's punching into Druid Red in some trouble, but Micro maybe did off a little bit more than he could chew. Feared off on the backside, going to be caught by the Cold Feet, but the Manta keeping him healthy, keeping him strong, keeping him fighting in the middle of this one. Now going toe-to-toe to Fredberg, but it's not a fight that he can win. Silenced up, trying to hit into everybody, takes down the bear. Now Red has no damage. Fear is going to be off the mark, but the rest of his team has crumbled behind him. Gur up to the high ground. Zeus in some trouble the second round of the Stampede, but not going to be able to take him down. As Day does go down, it looks like the rest of these Condor heroes, the two that are left alive, going to be able to make it back to the base. It's a long drawn-out fight. A couple of buybacks did come through, Centaur and Hoodwink. But they do end up losing 3 heroes eventually, Condors do. Conestoga, I'm not really too sure what to call that for them. It's about as even as the fight gets. Didn't take down the Rax. They take such awkward fights. They really do on Conestoga. But again, bailed out by that second round of the Warlock ult. I'm just imagining if they had that fight where they didn't go, you know, inside of the base with no creeps and no potential. It would have had, you know, potentially 2 rounds of the Warlock spells. Or at least had, like, some damage. Oh, Notorious B is going to find the hook on the Hoodwink. Pandemonium just in the middle of nowhere. That's a dieback, by the way, on the Hoodwink. 120 seconds on the deck. Warlock going to have both rounds of the spells up in 50 seconds with the refresher. The Conestoga with 2 heroes dead, they smell some blood in the water. Zeus level 25 up to take the AoE on the Lightning Bolt. No Rapier yet on the agenda for the Zeus, but perhaps only a matter of time before he wants to pick one of those fancy spell damage ampers up now. Micro going to work on the tower. Last tier 2 going to be taken down here, 51 minutes into the game.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
Thinking about going forward for a little bit more. Micro gonna be dismembered, but what an awkward go there. The Bloodthorn, it's not gonna save him. Fredberg trying to get the spells off, but canceled out by the Warlock going. He's gonna buy back, but Centaur once again dead. Not the dieback this time, but he's not gonna have buyback regardless. And Fabiorn in with the arena, in with the blink, finds the A on the backside. This time gonna be canceled out by the Song of the Siren, but Fredberg gonna just use it to disengage, use it to get out of here, as the tier 3 towers, well, they're gonna be under siege. Instead, the hook from Notorious V finds the bear. The bear is getting quick down on the backside. Red goes down. That's the ult for him. So even though he does have the buyback, not gonna have the ulti, or does have the ulti, I should say, to work with.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's
3 heroes dead. The Rax getting pounded in on. 52 minutes into this game, looking to close it out Conestoga's way.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Just Naga and Lone Druid to work with. Lone Druid, no bear for 30 seconds. They're gonna have Hoodwink in 7, so last-ditch effort potentially, but hooked outside of the base. Lone Druid looks like he'll just be going down, and that should just about be the game. Game number 2 gonna go Conestoga's way, and they're gonna force a game number 3.
Radiant's
GG, well played is called. What an absolute roller coaster of a game number 2, by the way. Both games going over 45 minutes here so far. All the USF fans in absolute shambles as we will be headed to a game number 3 here, Conestoga versus UMN. We'll do a little check-in, a live check-in on the USF game, just to see where we're at. I've got that queued up now, so we can do a little check-in, but we will have to go back and get into the lobby for the next game as well. So bear with me. I'm gonna have to set up the lobby before we get to see this game go. So looks like that game is about 15 minutes into game number 1 at the moment. Let's hang on, just getting in the lobby, make sure that I am set up for game number 3. Now I can toss us over to just a little live peek, not for too long, but into the USF versus University of Toronto game number 1. And wow, okay, the net worth didn't really look that bad, 5K, but I guess the 15 minutes really is impactful. Generally, you see Luna up at the top of the board, but instead it's an Axe game for sure. Holy moly. The fact that he's holy moly worries me. No, they did set the ticket because I can see this game, so I don't know what's going on. Well, I was distracted by the names and distracted by, you know, getting into this game. Did miss the kill onto the Coddle, which is a big one. Missed the kill over onto the TV as well. Well, it's a good thing I wasn't casting this game live, because yeah, report broadcaster, report the observer. Level 11 on the Ags. He's out farming, or out leveling, I should say, the enemy mid laner. But they're gonna try and set up onto him here. Oh, quick fingers on the blink. The safety bubble giving him ample time there. So maybe thinking about going on to Oracle, but do need to be careful here. There's no blink on Axe for a couple of seconds. But their gang squad gonna be off the mark, yeah. It's a little bit surprising to me. Soulbind, they're not gonna have the double doom through, but they might have enough damage here. There's a lot coming out onto Axe. Sonic Wave dropped over the top as well. They gonna find anyone? Toronto might just be able to disengage here. The Coddle in some trouble with the re-engagement from Axe. Oh. Some nice layering there from Toronto, even though they all get caught by these AoE spells. They just know their limits right now, how much they can push this mid lane. Ooh. See, GG well played coming through, so I think that might mean I've got to go and check out what's happened. I'm trying not to leak the lobby is why I'm throwing it back to me. Oh, I'm sorry, I had the game audio muted. Looks like, hang on. Hang on, wait a second. Sorry, that just had me a little bit distracted. That GG well played coming through from the lobby, but it looks like all is well. So let's go ahead and look back into this game. The end of the last fight ended up opening up the net worth lead, and a couple of more kills. You can see Luna joining this fight, and TV is not in a position to do so. So it's one of those rough games for USF here, where it seems like they just got off to a rough start. Falling behind on TB against Axe and Coddle is never easy. They don't have the most active early game, even with Clinks.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So it's not too easy for them. Like, they've got this phylactery Clinks, but they were obviously behind before you're able to do much with him, and he's not able to pick off the backlines. Yeah, he's gonna go down to 1 and 7 here. It's a pretty rough time. Alright, so as you can see, that'll be us into the draft for game number 3. Gave you about as long as I could. Gave you about as long as I could for the look into USF versus University of Toronto, but it looks like Toronto's got that game pretty well in hand to take down game number 1. And so their game number 2 will probably be starting, you know, they'll take a break. I mean, if I know Toronto, they do take a decent break in between games. So they'll take a couple of minutes. But that game, you know, theoretically could be, you know, as little as like 10 to 15 minutes behind this one into game number 2. So might just have the same kind of last peak and catch the end of that series. If we do go super late, I do have the ultimate backup of the University of Toronto versus UCSD series. That one over in the West Coast Division, and that one also should be a pretty fun series. I think that one was slated for a 9:30 start time. Let me just double check that, because if that was a 9:30 start time, we would very realistically get in there for the start of game number 2. So
Dire team ban.
we could do that. If we get down, if this game does go long, I might
10 seconds remaining.
have to figure that out. So let's just see, actually, before I commit to anything here. That series is slated for not 10 o'clock. That's last week. Yeah, that series is a 9:30 start, so that one's just gotten underway. So that might be the ultimate backup. We will see.
Seconds remaining.
I do want to peek into USF, University of Toronto in the East Coast Division anyway. So we'll figure it out. We'll have another series regardless after this one. Like there are more games to get into. I was not anticipating the first series of the day going so long, and sometimes Dota has its way of doing that where the games go longer than you do anticipate. So, you know, what can you do? But I am excited. I mean, UMN Conestoga has been a very surprisingly, you know, good series so far. And I mean that with, you know, that kind of came out wrong. Like, absolutely no disrespect to these teams. But both of them coming in 0-2, you don't really know what to expect. But they've been playing some good Dota. They've been very evenly matched. We've had 2 very back-and-forth games. Sometimes you can just get teams that, you know, have each other's number, and you get a pair of 20-minute games. It's pretty boring, and you never want to see that. So these games have been a lot of fun to do. I think they've been a lot of fun for me, at least. I hope they've been a lot of fun to watch as well. But I didn't get my break after the last one, as we did take a peek into the USF game. So while this draft does continue, I'm gonna go get up, grab some more water, make sure my voice can, you know, withstand talking for about 5 hours tonight, and I will see you guys back towards the end of the draft and as we get into game number 3, because I'm excited. I don't want to miss a minute of this series. So back in a flash.
Radiant team ban.
Disruptor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Lean. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Look at that. Didn't even miss all the second phase picks. It's kind of exciting. So what have we got here? Disruptor Lena grabbed up for UMN. My mistake. I should have checked this before I
5
walked
seconds
away, actually.
remaining.
But surprisingly, we have this. I see Eris in there says these teams are backwards. No, you're absolutely right about 5 minutes early. So
Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining.
funny. Anyway, I had to just, you know, not talk while I put in the chat what teams actually are, because I realized I walked away before I flipped the teams. That's pretty funny. What can you do? What can you actually do? It's not the best production value out there. Let me just put it at that. The sad thing is, I try and make it decent production value too. Like, I spend way too much time making it shitty production value instead of like just showing the draft screen. Like, I spent freaking way too long figuring out how to get the game state integration to work to make this draft screen exist. But what can you do? Anyway, yeah, take that as a lesson, you guys in the chat. I do see you, even if I am in the future. I just, you know, for the most part, don't respond because it doesn't make sense because I'm in the future. But if there are any glaring issues, you know, audio, visual, whatever, you can feel free to put it in the chat and I'll see it. Just not, you know, till 5 minutes in the future. Anyway, Conestoga going back to the Warlock, and I like that from them. The Warlock felt really good on their end. I think UMN are going to react to it a little bit differently than they did Game 1. We saw a lot of long upheaval channels
Team pick.
Game 1, and it looks like UMN are going with a lot of AoE stuns to kind of deal with that. So they've got the Riki, who loves to feast on the backlines. Put down the Silence on top of the Warlock, put down the Silence on top of the Lion, and just go to town. Shaker's going to be able to cancel. You've got Disruptor for the Static Storm on the back as well. So you should always have some cancel for the upheaval. So it won't be, you know, as nuisance hero as the Warlock was in Game 2. You know, in that like 25 to 35 minute mark where it was just free to get 10-second plus upheaval channels, which is absolutely ludicrous. Like, it's absolutely unheard of to get that long of a channel. So going into this fourth pick from them, they could pick up a carry here, they could pick up a mid. They see the matchup in the mid, but...
Radiant team back.
Okay, they will go for the Queen. It's one of those, you know, what would you rather have banned out against you? Would you rather have more mids banned or more carries banned? My initial thinking was that they could pick a carry now, because UMN does need a carry, so we're going to see like 4 carry heroes banned out.
10 seconds.
And it can make things a little bit awkward for the team that has the first pick in the last phase, like not the team that has last pick. Because you get all these carries banned and then you have to pick something, you know, like all the strong stuff can be banned and it can be a lot more reactionary, I think, out of the second pick. But maybe that's just my uninformed take. I mean, that could also be very true.
Dire team back.
Mars banned out. So they might think it's a carry Lina instead of mid Lina, which I would be surprised by. I mean, you pick it early in the draft like this, and I think it doesn't have a bad matchup against the Queen of Pain in the mid either. So it's not like it's so bad. I don't know. The Mars ban just feels a little bit strange to me. Because it makes me think that they think it's Shaker mid and Lina carry, and Shaker made against Queen of Pain is horrifically bad. So you would never willingly do that. Faceless Void's a good ban coming out from UMN. Dusa as well, but Dusa they could have dealt with potentially between the Static Storm and Ricky, who is a natural diffusal blade buyer. They could have maybe dealt with it, but I understand not wanting to play against it. It's one of those carries that has felt oppressive in the last couple of days as well in the meta, and going with the Ricky. Oh, am I insane, by the way? I totally forgot that they just have a Ricky. It's been a long day. I feel bad. Go back in time, right? And don't listen to a word that I said for the last, what, 4 minutes? No, I think 4 minutes ago is like when I sat down. But go back in time to whenever I started talking about UMN needing a carry and just erase it from your brain. I have no idea what they're going to take here. Something that lanes against the Drow, I guess.
I speak for the
Furion. Wow. Wow. Shaker 3, Furion 4. Alright, let's see it. Let us see it. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm not the biggest fan of the UMN draft, actually. These core Shakers always feel kind of iffy to me, and it does have an okay time. Conestoga is not the tankiest team in the world. Between the Drow, Queen of Pain, if you are able to find blinks onto the backlines, and this goes for more than just the Shaker, it's the Ricky as well, you can catch these heroes out. But on the downside, you've got some backline playing heroes, but you have no true frontline on UMN, so it's all going to be chaos. Like, chaos is the name of the game for UMN, because Lina doesn't want to be in the front line. You want to be finding pickoffs off to the side, extra right clicks coming through from range, but UMN, you're not going to have anyone in front. You're going to have people behind their team, and then you're going to have, like, Lina on the back lines, but there's nothing in between. So it's gonna be funky. It's gonna be a weird looking team fight structure for UMN, I think. Conestoga is a lot more natural, but it's going to be a pretty uphill positioning battle for them, needing to play around Ricky and Shaker, both looking for that backline. And Drow, it does always want to be on that backline, so it's going to be all about Favior, getting big and not dying to this initial wave. Kind of baiting spells onto the DP is going to be the idea. And if they're able to do that on Conestoga, right? Conestoga can take DP, and it's going to be hard because we've seen Favior struggle to stay farmed in these games. But if they can keep farm on DP and be a big menace, you force some of the spells his way. And if you're able to do that and DP can live through it, your heroes do go to work. The Queen of Pain goes to work. The Drow absolutely will punish you from the backlines, very similar to how the Lina will. So it's gonna be a very interesting game in terms of the fight structure. It's two like not natural fight jumps. So I'm gonna be very interested to see how this one shakes out. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun fights. By the way, something I didn't touch on in the draft, but Pudge got banned first phase. By the way, Notorious SV not getting to play as Pudge. Game 3 is gonna be on the Lion instead. So the impact was enough in the first two lanes that this UMN off lane are like, absolutely fucking not. Oh, sorry, I put off the game. I don't know how that happened. But they're like, absolutely fucking not. We're not playing into the Pudge. No thank you. You didn't miss anything in the game, by the way. Absolutely fine. We just absorb all the mistakes, right, into the first, like, into the draft when I saw there was a Ricky, but, like, didn't recognize that there was a Ricky, and then into the pregame production. And now, we're not going to miss a single kill, right? We're going to be totally fine. All will be well. Ricky going to TP himself out to lane as Red blocks up the creeps. Game number 3 getting underway. 1-1 in the series. Conestoga UMN, it's been very fun so far. A couple of long games. See if game number 3 does fit that mold, or if we're gonna have a quick one here. I think regardless, it's gonna be a pretty fun one how it shakes out. These teams have proven to be pretty evenly matched throughout the first couple of games. So however it shakes out should make for an interesting one. These teams are fighting to not be undefeated, but to be not only defeated. I don't know where I was going with that one. I don't have a good word for... They don't want to have lost all their games. Both teams so far in the series have picked up their first game win, actually, of the young Nace season. This is their third match each. But each picked up their first game win. Now each looking for their first series win in this game number 3. Flew around the side lanes a little bit as it looked like we were going to have some action happening, but pretty low-key so far in the side lanes. Drow having a pretty decent time in the early lane and should continue to do so, except for the 5 denies that they has. How has that happened? Never mind. They not having such a good time. Or Micro not having such a good time. I was seeing all the harass coming out, and it feels pretty nice, but 5 denies, and I can kind of see it. Micro with the level 1 multi-shot. Definitely not the standard build-up on the Drow. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone take level 1 multi-shot. It's always the Frosters. They give you so much value. But using it to secure the range creeps, going for what he can, and now they've got the level 2, they've got the couple of points in, slows Pandemonium, ready to be the first blood, and one more click will do it. Micro takes him down, Evil. Skilled up by the Warlock, and puts it to good use straight away. Faviord up top, level 2 gets the Spirit Siphon, gonna be broken off by the Glimpse, but not quite enough damage to kill up here. So we're gonna hold it there, 1-0 for Conestoga. Headed back over to the early mid. Looks like red. Slight advantage early on, but with the bottles coming out, should see things become the ye old farm fist in the mid. It's been a long time since, you know, water runes were introduced and since whatever, but not being a mid player myself, I have to wonder how people still like feel about it, because it feels like you have so much regen in mid. Not only mana, right, but HP being a considerable resource. Gone are the days of, like, salve meta, and gone are the days of needing, like, 5 TPs mid to bottle refill. Feels like you always have a rune to do it. Look at this, underneath the tower down bottom. Didn't notice this straight away because they're... Oh, that's so unfortunate. Cut the wrong tree, gets blocked in, the TP in from the mid laner. Not one you see every day, the level 4 Lina. Makes the TP, but red... Gonna find the first kill of the mid lane. And it's gonna be found in the bot lane. Not too often you see Warlock Drow behind the tower, so... For a second, didn't believe my own eyes as I saw that on the minimap. See again, the Disruptor. Able to cancel out these Spirit Siphons. Pretty annoying to deal with for Faviord, but you know, I will say, Faviord, I like this idea that, you know, he's been struggling to find the farm, struggling to find. I won't say the impact. He had a nice impact last game on the Mars, but struggling to stay relevant in terms of farm throughout the game. Well, he's now on the very farmy off-lane hero. He's up to a good start in terms of CS as well. So I think this can, you know, accelerate him into the game where you get that 1 or 2 items, you find impact, and then not only do you find creeps continually through the game, but you will also continue to find kills. If you do start to snowball on DP, it's one of the things that the hero does appreciate doing. So I like this idea from Conestoga to put him on a hero that's very easy to find that style of impact on. Anyway, taking a look at bottom, we haven't seen Furion make that TP rotation just yet. Coming up on 5 minutes 15, so maybe for the 6-minute runes will be the first time he does make the go, but up top, Notorious V goes down, and Pandemonium, speak of the devil. Oh, Fabian. Fabian again. The second time a little bit of a missed tree gets cut and takes some extra damage in the Sprout, but will still be able to make his way underneath the tower, looking for the glimpse back, and they will be able to pull him, but gonna be outside of the Sprout. Fredberg making his way back to the creep wave, so unfortunately not able to connect on the blink strike. Favior makes his way back and looks like he'll be headed to base to go reset. 2-1 here as the 6-minute rune is going to be spawning. It's going to be a shield rune up on the top side for red. Not the easiest rune to TP with, so just going to pop it straight in the mid and use that extra HP to his advantage. Up top, looked like they might decide to go again, but be all quiet for now. And Pandemonium gonna be running towards the mid lane. Not too frequently you see the Nature's Prophet run towards mid, but we'll see him make this play and maybe actually looping back up top, going underneath the tower. Oh, you know what happened, by the way? There was a glimpse play on Favior. He TP'd back up top. I was wondering where he went. It's back in the fountain. Pandemonium setting up early for the Wisdom Rune Snatch as well, and this one could be very impactful for UMN, by the way. Throughout the series, we have seen the runes go 1-for-1, but not the most priority always put on it, and this time it's not going to pay off as Lion, a couple of seconds too late, means the Notorious SV not going to find the XP. Is level 5 on Lion without a single XP rune. I don't know how that's happened. I actually have no idea how he's so leveled. It's not like they have kills. How he's out leveling his DP by half a level, and he doesn't have X. What's happened? Has he been fed observers or something? Like, how has he got so much XP? This is ridiculous. Rotation coming in from red. Gonna be able to catch him off this time. There's no LSA to work with, but the Laguna Blade gonna be able to take down Favior pretty easily. Heads his way back towards the mid lane. Down bottom, haven't been checking in, but 18 denies Drowseway. Pretty sure you can say that she's happy in this lane. Gonna run forward, has to be careful. Level 5 on the Shaker. 3 points enchant totem. Definitely don't want to get critted. But instead, Micro able to keep him at bay. Be able to get back to the wave safely. Did it happen again? Oh, it happened again. I wasn't watching top, but it happened again. Favior, it's so sad. What can you do? I mean, sometimes it happens. Rate my Uber 5 stars. Sonic Wave down bottom, Pandemonium. Gonna go down. Gur finds himself a freebie and gonna blink away, head back towards the mid lane as well. It's Fredberg up top, gets kill on the support while Favior is still running out. And you know, now that I think about it, that's how the XP did come through onto Lion, is Favior's been spending some time running back to the lane, meaning Lion's been here in a little bit of a solo lane this time. Just overstepped his bounds a bit. Bottle going to be refilled in the mid lane. One bottle charge fed over, but doesn't work that way anymore, unfortunately. Down bottom in potentially some trouble. Still level 5 on day, will go down, and Pandemonium TP'd in for this one. Use the scroll on mid as well. They should know that not able to escape on the Furion. He's going to hide himself behind the Roche Pit, but it's not going to be a good time to hide down here. 50 seconds until he's got the TP, 45 until the skill. Going to be stuck in the corner for a long time down there. Have to have a little check-in on him later. Favior on the top. Alright, the rotations are coming in from the Twin Gate behind, but Conestoga, well, they're going to find the kill onto onto Shaker, excuse me. Before that comes through, Furion on the backside. Micro kind of stuck in with the range creep. But now they're going to go on to these supports, and looks like they might just have them too. Micro not going to be caught in that kinetic field, so Pandemonium certainly going to go down as everyone's made the TP actually from UMN. It is the entire roster here. Laguna Blade not going to find Drow on 15 or less HP. They will find the support on the front side. The chase down was on, and Micro hiding behind the Roach Pit. But Red hunting. Dragon Slave to the face will take her down eventually. Still, this was literally the entire team TPing down here. Glimp's gonna find a second. Want to be careful on Warlock as well, not to get caught down here. But it looks like UMN just gonna play it safe and back their way out as free farming the other lanes. I mean, it's ultimately not the worst thing in the world for Conestoga, and I say that as Swap, there wasn't the mana for the screen. If there was, would have been a kill. Instead, just blinks up to the high ground, having used that Sonic Wave. It looks like the fight recap doesn't really do it justice. I was interested to see if the free farming did actually offset some of the early kill bounties just because they are so low. Ricky getting dragged off the farm has hindered him a little bit. Switch over to net worth as forgot to do that a little bit earlier. And can see that in terms of net worth, Conestoga are relatively happy. It is Favior once again a little bit behind, having been glimpsed back to the base a couple of times already this game, but recovering nicely for himself and did use that first exorcism to take down the top tower in the midst of it all. So still having some nice impact. It's going to open up a couple thousand gold lead for them off the back of that tower take as well. And Ricky potentially in some trouble. Micro needs a couple of procs, not going to find it. Multi-shot going to be offline this time. Faviord in the top. Disruptor's playing around with him a little bit underneath the ward, gonna glimpse him back, and Static Storm gonna catch him into the rotation. TP as well from Pandemonium on that double damage room. Will kill him off. Was again a 4-hero rotation, including Day, who desperately needs to find some farm. 2,400 net worth, below the Lion at this stage in the game. Just 16 CS, by the way, on your poor Shaker. It's a rough day to be Day. I guess I could have just said it's a rough day. No, I said I was going to get all the mistakes out early. Well, you know.
Radiant are scanning.
Who needs a brain when you could play Dota? Group up in the mid lane. Conestoga thinking about putting some pressure onto this mid tower. They have brought DP as well, but no exorcism for 30 seconds, and not going to be the fastest tower push until then. Gloom's back. Gonna catch him. Warlock gonna drop the golem over the top to Upheaval as well, and he's getting the channel up. There's no stun again. It's like game 2 all over again. The Upheaval, it's gonna be channeled for the entire game. Para kills. We see 9 heroes in the mid lane. Looks like it's just gonna end up being the 2 to go with the mid tower, but Conestoga gonna be more than happy about that one.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Glyph comes through, but he's going to put it on cooldown for 5 minutes as the tier 1 top already has been taken.
Has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So the early groups from Conestoga doing significantly better than the early groups were from UMN. Oh, that's awkward. LMT actually accidentally stacked up the Ancients again for fire. That's really awkward. They can't farm these anytime soon, and they're going to give up a couple of kills trying to steal this hard camp stack. Simply not worth it 14 minutes into this game. The Glimp's probably going to come up as well as Fabior dragged back into the Static Storm. Going to take all 5 to take him down, but not the best. Give him these Ancients, let me tell you. So Conestoga going to cool it off a little bit. 7-9 here as they do take the backseat in the kill score, but 3,000 gold up in terms of the net worth as it's all on the back of Day. Continuing to struggle through this game, working towards the Blink Dagger. And
Bottom tower is under attack.
really going to need to do a lot of work with that first Blink Echo. Get himself back involved, otherwise he's going to struggle to find impact for the rest of this game. As a little D-word gone wrong, a kill off the back of the haste rune. Gonna find him. Ricky did come into this one. Pop blinked over and away. It looks like he should be able to get himself out, or perhaps he wants back in on Gur. Sonic Wave up in 3 seconds, so another Blink gonna find Pandemonium. Sonic Wave gonna be dumped over. It's actually gonna miss the Furion. Needs another Blink, and that's pretty awkward, so he's not gonna find the kill. Instead, the Blink TP is gonna come through. They'll end up trading 1 for 1, as the supports do both die in that engagement. So a little bit awkward that last engagement, but
A gift from the tempest of battle.
ends up okay. You know, neither good nor bad. Either way. It's like the play is on for Ricky down bottom. Fredberg pop the smoke down with the diffusal active and no sentry in the area. He's gonna be fine to just waltz away and potentially even stick around down here to set up some kills. Looks like Lina is making the rotation on the backside. Yeah, Fredberg looking to set up here, and it is the fresh diffusal blade. They spotted this one out. Sentry one dropped over. They're going to drop the chaotic offering as well as the exorcism. Fred not able to find the angle, and the blink from Notorious V. Gonna find the mana drain, find the stun. It's gonna be the static storm dropped on the Queen of Pain, but she's just gonna be able to turn around and hit. The Laguna Blade is not enough damage. The Warlock heal doing work. It's level 1, but it doesn't matter. Oh, what a play. LMT has been absolute god on the Warlock the last couple of games. Notorious V with that blink, gonna find yet another kill. Gur's not quite done. No Sonic Wave to work with, but without the Laguna Blade, able to blink forward, no fear.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Not easy to take down these ancient stacks for them, but maybe thinking about it. The exorcism has run out. LMT, he's taking them. Fatal Bonds and the Golem. Gonna take the ancients down, so it was all a bait. Stacked him up for himself the whole time. It's gonna be a pretty annoying one to lose for UMN. Lina would have been able to take those soon. Is going the magic build, but still the right clicks do hurt on Lina. 10 to 10 here. The kill score gets all knotted up. Smoke play. Gonna be on from UMN. Wanting to make the stab into the jungle. Day has picked up that Blink Dagger. Has that first Echo Slam. Like I said, this one is absolutely massive for Day. Need to find instant impact if you want back in this game. And it looks like the Queen of Pain, she might know what's up. We're gonna step up for the wave. Day looking for the angle, the fissure. It's gonna set up the blink with the echo. They're gonna try and find the kill, and will have it. Red able to pop the Dragon Slave over the top.
tower is under attack.
So Day gets himself involved. It is just one kill, and
Top tower
will trade out a tower, but they'll get the mid in return. Still, you can't ask for too much more out of that first Echo Slam, especially considering how sad
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
the Earthshaker has been this game. You're gonna run us 4 up towards the top lane. No smoke, but no obs planted in the way. Instead, Red gonna show on the tower. Still, the TP's coming through. Pandemonium has found the angle. The Hurricane Pike gonna bring him straight towards more heroes as UMN gonna find themselves another kill. As a little bit out of position on the Drow there. Notorious V. Don't want to make it another one. Dodge the LSA and he'll get out of there. Top net worth Drow going down to that pickoff, and not the best positioning, and that one's gonna hurt. That kill is certainly gonna hurt the Drow.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Aghanim's gonna be the build-up on the Warlock again. Don't really agree the most with the Ag Warlock, but hold that thought. The Finger, the Sonic Wave, they're both gonna be dropped, and Red just goes down. The Golem dropped over the top as well, on top of the Fatal Bunch, the Upheaval. Channel on the backside, not even needing the slow. It's gonna be 3 kills their way, and down bottom, Fredberg underneath the tower, gonna be caught out micro. 4 steps forward with that Hurricane Pike, looking for the extra damage, not gonna have enough. But it's the top lane brawl. Conestoga connect on all their abilities. Claim a couple of big kills there, and it's all set up by that first blink forward. Notorious V
Dire's top tower
gets the Earth Spike, and they just set up, they dump all the magic damage they have, and rightfully so on the Lina. She's pretty hard to kill, but enough damage coming through. Just barely, by the way. It was really close between the Sonic Wave and the Finger if they'd actually have enough damage. Did have enough in the end. Warlock Golem gonna time out up in the top. Conestoga are hanging around in this jungle, but this time with no ults to work with. They're holding under a ward, and it looks like it will be Disruptor coming up first. Still need to be careful not to be out of position here as the rest of the team does gather for UMN. Thinking about maybe going into the fight, but instead it's Queen of Pain showing up. That's going to end it for him. Day. Echo Slam ready, but no blink, so Pandemonium going to go down, and it looks like Conestoga going to be able to make their way out of here. Fredberg connecting, looking for the kill with the Diffusal Blade. Laguna Blade dropped over the top, will just be enough there as Fredberg finishes off the kill. LMT in a bit of trouble perhaps, but the two-man Earth Spike. Force Staff going to be on cooldown, but the Sonic Wave on the top with the Fatal Bonds and so much damage! Oh, holy, what a find there. The Sonic Wave didn't even connect squarely, and for a second you just have to wonder, like, are they really going to find these kills? The answer is overwhelmingly yes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Queen of Pain 7, 1, and 4, taking over that top net worth slot. Witchblade
Is under
in the inventory and proven to be the big dog
Dire's
so far in this game. Still not to be lost amongst it all. Micro 2 and 3, sure, but farming nicely in this game, taking over that second place slot. Going to be having a Manta style to her name shortly. Need to be careful here. It's the creep. Oh, it's not going to die, and Micro Hurricane pikes himself to safety. Lena had to cancel that TP, saw some extra heroes in the area. I was the Static Storm used as well, so not going to have that one available for the near-term future. Conestoga continuing to play aggressively in the jungle underneath their vision. Do spot out Day, farming up this camp. Blink Echo available, but so hard for him to get involved here. Instead, looking towards Fredberg, Notorious B short blinks it. Not going to be able to find the kill this time, and it's going to buy passage up to the high ground for UMN. Thinking about getting in the Day. His blink's going to be canceled out. A two-man golem dropped over the top. The upheaval, just a little bit of a zoning spell, make sure they can't make their way up the high ground. And Red on the backside. Well, he's going to have to turn and run from that BKB dropped out from Gur. Top hero on the map for a reason. Regen rune as well. Going to give him mana to work with, and he might even blink up the high ground here. He's going to go underneath the tower. Red, does he have the damage? Laguna Blade dropped out. They'll take down the Queen of Pain. Looking for the Ricky now, and nothing to blink to. Fredberg going to make his way back to the fountain, actually. Thinking about re-engaging underneath this tier 3 tower. Notorious V has fallen low. Needs a force step to the low ground. Oh, he's going to drag Ricky down! Oh, Fredberg wanted the free one, but the force step just gets him down to the low ground. What a sad time. Oh no. I want to see that one again. Let's see if we can't watch that one. The dive, they almost kill off the Ricky. The last exorcism goes following him, right? But gets out of vision. You can just see it. The second he turns around, it's like, I want these kills. How long do I have to wait? Oh, drags him to the low ground. How sad is that?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
In the live game, mid tower did go down to the residual exorcism, but it looks like sticking a little bit too long. The glimpse gonna find him on the backside. Thinking about re-engaging this one perhaps with Fabio. He's living way longer than anticipated. Red's falling so low on the back lines. All the spirits coming through from the Warlock. The imps, they're doing so much damage. LMT, absolute MVP in this game. 2-1 and 19 on the Warlock. He finishes every channel. Oh, it's ridiculous. I can't believe they had it in them to turn that one around. That was ridiculous.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But that is exactly what I talked about in the pregame of if they can get spells baited onto DP and take a long time. Oh, they might just find Ricky here. There's no buybacks to work with. The Finger, the Sonic Wave, they're dumped over on him. Games 1 and 2 were long ones. Game 3, well, it's shaping up to be a quick win for Conestoga here. Suddenly up 12,000 net worth off the back of 2 or 3 consecutive fights. Ready to take the tier 3. The glyph was already used. They'll take it and back off, but free 25-minute tier 3. Roshan can be a next target as they do make their way back up to the top corner. And about to turn nighttime. They'll have Exorcism up shortly as well. Yeah, it just came up now, actually.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Once more into the breach. UMN smoked up. They want to get this ward out, but the smoke is going to break on the low ground. Day underneath the vision as shown.
Top tower is under attack.
UMN, they're going to need to back out here, playing without Fredberg. Instead, going to TP red down to the bot lane, try and find some farm. Still working on that Aghanim Scepter, and will complete it off of that wave. Still not the start that you wanted on Lina. She's 6-3 and 6, but was doing super well for herself. All of a sudden, 2 deaths in a row. Your items are behind. You're not finding these first burst pickoffs, and
Top tower is under attack.
instead getting picked off yourself by Magic Burst. It's
Dire's top
not an easy
tower has
time.
fallen.
Really isn't. 26 to 16, but that doesn't do it justice. 14,000 gold lead for Conestoga. Looking like an entirely new team. This game number 3. Gonna go right ahead into that Roche pit. Do have the exorcism to work with if they want to. Looks like instead they're gonna just have Micro hit into this Roche, and with the healing word, they've got more than enough to keep PP happy in the pit.
Are scanning.
In the mid, Notorious V potentially in some trouble here as the Force Staff, as the Blink Dagger gets himself away. Even sticking around potentially if his team wants to TP in behind him, still has the Force to work with. Did use up all his mobility, so not going to be able to find the Impale. See, clicking on some heroes. Queen of Pain did go back for a Yule Scepter. Wants to probably make sure that you dodge that Laguna Blade damage, I suppose. It's a pretty interesting way to go about it. It has the Wind Waker queued up, and that's pretty like ultra late game save idea for the potentially for the Static Storm. I'm not sure that an early Wind Waker is strictly speaking necessary. Click on the hero we all want to see. Warlock, Aghanim Scepter completed. Not exactly the highest impact first item coming from the Warlock, or I guess second item, as this game does have the Force Staff available. I do think the Ags is a little bit of a bait, because you do get 2 golems, but they get reduced stats. Like, you don't get 2 strongest golems, you get 2 strong golems. And with that same gold, you could just go for a refresher and just make sure that you are being careful with your mana and maybe bring some mangoes just in case. But LMT's making it work, and who am I to second guess the Warlock expert? He's looked absolutely gorgeous on this hero, Game 2 and Game 3.
Is under attack.
Got some more creep cutting going on, so the tier 2 tower going to be under siege for Conestoga, but Fredberg doing a nice job taking down these creeps and gonna delay any potential high ground push now that the Aegis is in hand on Drow. Still, there are other objectives on the map, and the first one's gonna be the Tormentor. Shard over to Warlock, and that's a really nice one to have as well. Did see Drow TP over to the top lane. Is a little bit isolated from the team, so need to be a bit careful. But Micro with the Aegis in hand, feeling pretty comfortable. Just looking to get this top wave out. Taking a look over at the UMN side, just see if any items are coming through that are gonna help them turn the tides a little bit. And Pandemonium's got the Orchid up.
Mine at last.
It is true, but Fredberg, we saw I had to go for the Manta instead of going straight for the Aghanim, so delays his farm, delays his game a little bit, going this build up, and
Dire's bottom
Day's still just continuing to struggle in this game. And once the struggle was real at the beginning, I mean, it's so hard to catch up on a hero like the Shaker, especially while you're continuing to play from behind, just not able to hit creeps on the hero. And you can see the second he steps up in lane, just starts to get clicked down, and the jungle speed is not there on the position 3 Shaker. Midwave gonna be escorted as Aegis, a minute and a half left on the timer. They do want to make something happen here for Conestoga, so want to get to work on the mid racks. People gonna be dropped off early on. Fissure not there to cancel it out. Exorcism going to be thrown up as well, and UMN, no desire to contest this one at all. Down 15,000 in the net worth. They are cutting the next creep wave, but racks are down.
Has fallen.
I know it's only 30 minutes. There is potential for them to actually be able to backdoor this slowly with the Exo. Micro underneath the tier 4s, wants in, not going to be able to mantle on drop the stun. The Echo Slam drops down, the H is going to be claimed, but the Exorcism, it's going to work underneath the tower. ES going to go down straight away. Pandemonium as well. Fredberg's in with the shield rune, finds the connection onto Gur, but the damage isn't there, and the Exorcism all the way back by the tier 4s, behind the tier 4s. Meanwhile, the top tower goes down, Lion does go eventually. And Favuort still just full HP, more siphons to work with. Gonna be the last charge committed on to Fredberg, but keeping himself healthy. Now maybe getting chained up a little bit too long, but the Force Staff gonna keep him safe. Operax worth taking down by Micro in the meantime. Flims back. Ooh, what a dodge! Pretty stuff from Micro. Oh, and the multi-shot up. He's gonna get rewarded as well. Very nicely done there. They're just gonna back their way out, up 2 racks. No rush to close out this game. Could potentially wait for that next Roshan, could spawn in 3 minutes. More likely than not, though, they're just gonna wait out that next round of spells. Knowing Conestoga and how they play, they're going to go hit into backdoor a little bit more before this game is up. Some more cutting going on down bottom. Furion trying his best to make sure the creeps don't ever enter the base, but at this point, worst case scenario for Conestoga is they just have to wait out the next Roshan and force it down UMN's throats. Just looking absolutely dominant this game, number 3. Fredberg. See if he's not able to hunt, perhaps, but it looks like just looking to farm up. Does have the Aghanim Scepter completed. This is a big item and a big power spike for the Riki to go with that level 20 talent. So one more good fight in him. UMN, and gonna need a lot of damage to come through from the Riki. Gonna need a good pickup to start from red as well, with the Ethereal Blade picked up as well. We're gonna have potential to take some heroes down. Just need to make sure that you are connecting onto someone before the fight kicks off. Otherwise, it's gonna be a rough one. It's not an easy time, and like I said, Conestoga, knowing them, they're just gonna run it straight up. Favuort up on the high ground. Not easy to take down. Eternal Shroud in his pocket. Glyph gonna be forced out. That's gonna be the last one they have to work with. Fredberg trying to make his way around the side. Gonna be dusted up. Walked underneath the sentry ward. Still the blow up. Red can't quite find him, and Favuort, he's a bit too tanky. Fredberg around the side. Well, now maybe they can take him down. Thinking about it. Turn around with the Laguna. It's gonna be dropped down. Favuort will go down. Wind Waker dropped onto Quap herself. Not able to save his buddy. But the turnaround onto Fredberg. In some trouble. The Gust, it's not quite there. Just on the edge of its range. UMN trying to maybe get in, but their vision taken down off the high ground. Now the blink forward. They're going to find Shaker off to the side. Add the Echo Slam to work with, but never found the angle. Never found the catch. Gets himself caught instead. 74 seconds on the deck. Pandemonium trying to run away. Trying to TP. Is the damage there? The Golems punch him in the face. They'll take him down. That's 2 heroes down for UMN. As Conestoga, they say we don't need no stinking Aegis. We're going to go straight back up the high ground, and you can't stop us. Micro hits away into the tier 3. It's going to go down. Notorious B blinks forward aggressively, and he's got every right to do so. Fredberg falling low. The vision's there. Takes down one on his way to an early grave. Micro dives the tower as he gets glimpsed back right into position to hit into the racks. The Mega's about to be taken. Needs to maybe get himself out of trouble. Here's the buybacks did come through from UMN, but Micro sticking up on the high ground, able to get the nice gust off, and this time Fredberg falling low, will get taken down. Red with a kill off to the back, but needs to get himself out of danger, and not really going to be able to do it, trying with the TP, but the damage is there. Does buy back, but 3 heroes on his team don't have it. The racks do go down. That's Megas here before 35 minutes. Even if you do get kills here, it's so hard with the Megas up already. And the blink back, Favuort's here. Exorcism not even going to be needed. Is just going to go ahead and click on these tier 4 towers. Sure, why not? don't need to leave the base at all when you can just click on the towers. Looks like UMN gonna fall just short of this series as put up tremendous fight games 1 and 2, but just end up falling flat in this game number 3. It's certainly going all Conestoga's way. Last Exorcism gonna come out, and tier 4 towers will eventually be taken down. The static storm gonna be dropped just on Notorious V, who is spell immune while channeling up that mana drain.
Dire's middle tower
Fabiord will run UMN back to their fountain as the tier 4s fall behind him. Makes the wall, can't even be taken down, throne exposed, and will eventually be clicked down. Fabiord, maybe gonna go down in time. The Wind Waker, keeping him safe for the time being. He's actually gonna get away as the kills come through. GG, well played. Gonna be called. Conestoga take a seriously deserved game number 3, and that's gotta be a feel-good series. I think the Warlock reaction says it all. The excitement's there for Conestoga. It's a great series for them to win. It's a great first win for them to get as well. It's a hard-fought one. It's not some random forfeit win. They had to fight tooth and nail. They had to claw their way into this game. And by the time they get to the end, you know, game 3, well, they just deserved it. That game was not exactly one-sided, but definitely in their hands from the get-go. And what a great game from LMT. What a great series from LMT, by the way, on this Warlock. Just absolutely beautiful play. It's not too often that you get 5s who have this level of impact on a hero like the Warlock, and his positioning just ended up being incredibly good, especially this game with so much backline chaos that could have been thrown in. He's just still able to get these upheavals, still never getting caught at the beginning of fights. I mean, it's you know, my MVP for sure. I think throughout this game certainly, and made a good case for himself throughout the series. But ultimately, Conestoga just pulling it off, and a big congrats to them. I'm gonna give a quick check-in. I know that says coming up next is Conestoga UMN. We did just see the end of them and see where we're at in terms of games, because it looks like, well, it looks like University of Toronto USF is still ongoing. So let's poke in there real quick, see how game number 2 is going. Remember, game number 1, I'm assuming at least, Toronto did win that one. They were up about 10k when we left at the 20-minute mark. But it looks like we've got an actual game on our hands here. It is 22-9, but let's just